to this live stream event of Panther Sports. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Richie Ewing, Neil Thornton. All gas, no brakes. Let's get it.
Good evening, Panther Nation, and welcome to another live stream event here on Friday night. You're watching Liberty Panther Sports Network. I'm Joe Roberts. Alongside me is Ross Norwood, and for one last time in his entire life, Neil Thornton on stats, producer Richard Ewing in the producer's box, and Connor Roberts, who may or may not be my son. We'll see what kind of video work he does tonight, and Oscar Sakata on the other camera. We are in Hampshire, Texas for the 11-4A finale for both the Liberty Panthers and the Hamshire-Fanette Longhorns. Your Liberty Panthers eliminated from playoff contention last week, so this is just for grins and giggles, as they say. And we're going to see what they do. The Liberty Panthers with some flashes of brilliance and then some flashes of less than brilliance. Neil?
Been up and down.
Do you have a stat rundown for last week?
257 total yards for Liberty last week, 243 of that on the ground, only 14 in the air. The problems last week were turnovers, 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles and an interception. Not the best play on kick coverage on both punts and kickoffs. Just some mistakes that have been made, and just, what I've been saying all season long, offensive line plays got to get better. Any offense, we were talking about that on the way over here, remember, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
Any offense, it doesn't make a difference at what level, if it's Pee Wee ball or if it's in the Super Bowl. It can be spread offense, it could be run and shoot, it could be double wing like we run. If the offensive line's not doing their job, the offense doesn't run. So we've got to have that to make this a competitive game tonight.
No doubt about that. So we're just about ready for game time. About 8.5 minutes or so. The Hamshire-Fanette squad having, looks like a combination senior night and homecoming.
It's a 2-for-1 special.
2-for-1 special. Pretty odd. You don't see that super often. Both teams still waiting to come onto the field at this point. Ross?
Well, I just want to say we're coming to you today from high atop the visiting stands at Hamshire-Fanette.
High atop.
High atop.
Yeah, we're maybe 8 feet off the ground.
Are we even 8 feet? You could dunk on our feet. That's how. That's how low we are.
We're about, I don't know what, 60 yards.
I'm looking at the field here. Because we are so low to the ground, we're going to have some interesting guests in the camera field.
Kids.
We're gonna need Oscar to go get releases.
Yeah. All right, the Liberty Panthers making their way onto the field. All right, one last time for the season, Ross. Give us a uniform breakdown here. We haven't had that in a while.
Well, we haven't. Panthers in white tops, black lettering with yellow gold outlines, black helmets with their Liberty Panther logo, black pants, and black shoes with black socks.
Well, it just doesn't feel like a Panther football game without hearing all that. And Ross and Neil, we're so low. We got the cameras so close to us that we may actually be able to get into this shot right now.
We're
going to get some headshots over here of you, Ross.
You don't want that. Not for me and Ross.
No, I don't need anybody to see.
It'll interfere with the lighting. Well, it'll interfere with the lighting on the field, I'm afraid.
Well, the prancers and the cheerleaders all out in force tonight. The LHS band, and man, we've got the drill team down on the track, and one of the drill team members had a little bit of an injury a couple of weeks ago during marching contest, and she's in a wheelchair right now as she's recuperating. Hannah Hawkins, she's still down there, dressed out in the wheelchair, ready to go. Got that Panther spirit. And somebody bought the train horn.
Oh, they've had one over here for several years. It's annoying. Here comes the boss. Everybody straighten up.
Well, there he is, Dr. Cody Absher in the house tonight. See where we are. We're right in the middle of this thing, so we have to we got to be careful about this. All right, both teams on the field for this 11-4A finale. Your Liberty Panthers and the Hamshire-Fanette Longhorns. And we should be getting close to the national anthem, I presume. And then after that, we'll have the captains going to the middle. The clock says 12, so we can go ahead and hit our Liberty ISD Education Foundation starting lineup while we're waiting for all that.
Foundation, serving Liberty ISD since 2007. Visit libertyeducationfoundation.net and donate today. Tonight's offensive starters are right tackle Juan Sanchez, right guard Zach Davis, center Seth Stearns, left guard Ford Carter, and left tackle Dylan Davis. At the skills positions tonight, tight end Cade Jordan and tight end Gavin Fontenot. In the backfield for the Panthers, halfback Jolin Curtis, fullback Colton Bishop, and halfback Alex Valtierra. And under center tonight, quarterback Caden Nolan. Tonight's defensive starters are, on the defensive line, defensive end Titus Bell, defensive tackle Colby Ewing, defensive end Victor Ruiz, at linebacker, outside linebacker Bo Fowler, inside linebacker William Waldrop, inside linebacker Caleb Chandler, outside linebacker Quentin Johnston, and in the secondary, cornerback Mason Godot, safety Austin Walker, safety Gavin Becker, and cornerback Caden Nolan. The special teams unit for tonight, punter Jaden Shemp, and kicker Brian Montez.
All right, we came in the middle of the national anthem. Nice rendition by, I didn't even catch who was singing that and if that was recorded or if that was students, but at any rate, it was nice and it's over. Now we have captains heading to the middle of the field, the same cast of characters that has been representing the Panthers for most of the season. Number 5, Austin Walker. Number 13, William Waldrop. Number 33, Titus Bell. And number 9, Mason Goodo, with the rest of the team arm in arm heading out to the numbers. All right, Neil, keys to the game for you tonight if the Panthers are going to end on a winning note.
Good defense. The defense has been playing above their head for 2 years now. So good defense. Try to hold the Longhorns in their end of the field and put together some good offensive plays, some good offensive drives like they normally do. Take time off the clock. Get a couple of scores ahead and put the clock on your side and play Panther football.
All right, Ross, same question.
I'll echo what Neil said. It's going to be playing good ball, get that winning record. Offensive line's going to decide a lot in this game. And the defensive line. The defensive line needs to spend more time tonight in the Hamshire-Fanette backfield.
All right, gentlemen, just about ready to get this thing underway. The official is getting ready to flip the coin there.
I think they're actually doing a coin flip. A lot of times they do this in the locker room, but I believe this is actually being done on the field.
And that is what they're doing. They're
having some discussion with the coaches on the sideline already. Somebody.
Yeah, I saw him on the other side of the thing. It looks like me, except he's a lot lighter.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
Okay, so Liberty gets the ball.
And we're so low that the officials are going to be indicating everything to the opposite side. We're on the visitor side tonight, so it may be a little difficult for us to pick up penalty calls. We'll do the best that we can right now, but it does appear that the Panthers are going to receive the first kickoff.
That's just what we need is some more difficulty.
Ross?
I'll say this, Joe. This is one of the rare places that we visit that uses a mic on the referee, so maybe we'll be able to pick something up off of that.
We'll see what we see.
We won't have the confusion that we normally do.
Now, one of the cool things, somebody was out there videoing the captain's meeting. I'm not sure if that was just a generalized film or if someone else is live streaming that. At any rate, you're watching PantherSports.com, the Liberty Panther Sports Network. I'm Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Neil Thornton, producer Richard Ewing. Our final football game of the season tonight. You can check us out for LHS Live on Wednesday, where we have special guests every Wednesday from 9:30 to 10. That's LHSlive.net. And then we will be carrying a couple of the Panther basketball games, some select home games, Panthers and Lady Panthers. And then we will pick up some select Panther baseball games and then be mostly covering the Lady Panther softball team as they look to build on last season's state championship victory.
It's going to be a great spring for the Panthers, both the Lady Panthers and the guys. Excited about picking up some baseball games this year. And, of course, Liberty's Lady Panthers coming and defending their state championship.
All right, one more time, I want to thank our sponsors for tonight, the Liberty ISD Education Foundation, helping out Liberty since 2007. And then Emily Cook, our scoreboard sponsor for tonight. And then Mr. Brandon Smith, also a sponsor of the scoreboard. And we're finally underway. The kick is high, not super deep, but fielded cleanly by Jolan Curtis. Still on his feet on the left-hand side. And the ball came out, but it looked like it came out after he had already gone out of bounds.
I think so. I think he brings it out to about we'll have to, and we do have the advantage of having the down box on our side over here, so we'll be able to see what the line of scrimmage is. Looked like it'll be about the 32.
That is a pretty good guess, although they may be sitting up closer to the 31. I don't want to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, now they're going to move it.
Wait. That's the 20.
There we go. They're going to move it to the 28.
28. Okay.
First and 10 from the 28-yard line. Panthers working themselves from south to north. And again, apologize. We are very close. You would think that would make it easier, but that does not make it as easy. Same double tight, double winged formation that they normally come out in. Cade Nolan under center. And going to hand the ball off.
I think that was.
And that will be Austin Walker on the carry, coming over the left-hand side, going to pick up about 5 yards, maybe more like 4. Going to bring up second down and 6. And it's a nice way to start the game. Liberty Panthers having some offensive troubles the last couple of weeks, and it'd be really nice to end the year on a nice offensive explosion, Ross.
They are primed for that. Had some hard times last week, as you just said, and I'm just going to repeat exactly what you just said.
All right, man in motion again. Walker going to take the ball, still trying to get something going, and a host of Longhorns there to meet him at about the line of scrimmage. In fact, he may have just barely gotten back to the line. Although they're moving it a bit, he might have picked up about a half a yard or so on that. It's going to bring up third down and 5 for the Panthers. Just under 11 minutes here in the first quarter in Hampshire, Texas, as your Liberty Panthers facing the 11-4A finale. And I guess they'll be turning in gear probably on Monday. That's always a sad time of the year, Ross.
It's like buying a boat. Well, not really, but you get your gear and you're happy, and then you got to turn it in. And it's
Nolan under center again. This time Mason Goodo takes the ball left-hand side. He scoots in the gap, and it's going to be very, very close to a first down yardage.
Spot is, yeah. I believe he's going to get it here.
He may be about a yard short here.
Titus Bell there with a great block to open up some room for Mason.
Our favorite fan ever, Miss Ripkowski, informed me that I need to give the score a little more often. And
always says
I'm
that.
going to do that just for her because I love her so much, and she has been an amazing Panther her entire life. Fourth and short, and the Panthers are going to go for it. And this time the quarterback going to call his own number.
Nice play.
And go right over the left-hand side, and that's actually – is that Titus Bell?
Titus Bell did not carry the ball, but he is the one that got Nolan and kind of pulled him across the line.
There you go. That threw me off a little bit there. That's going to be first down pickup for the Panthers. Ball's going to be on the 41-yard line, and the Panthers trucking right along. 9:19 to go here in the first quarter, all tied up at 0. Panthers in the middle of their first drive. Ross?
Big for the Panthers to get that first down and keep the drive alive. They've had some issues on first drives of the game this year.
Big Seth Stearns, the center, getting ready to give the ball to Caden Nolan. And that's going to be a toss to Goodo, left-hand side, still on his feet following a bevy of blockers. Going to pick up about 4 yards on the carry, close to midfield. It's going to be actually right on the midfield line.
That's 45. That's a 45.
Oh, there we go, 45. There we go. I'm angled.
Zach Davis had the lead block on that play, and joining in on that was Cord Carter.
The second down and 6 for the Panthers. 8:32 to go here again. If you're joining us, thank you for tuning in to the Liberty Panther Sports Network on panthersports.com. And this time Titus Pell is going to take the ball from the fullback spot on the right-hand side. Going to get tripped up right at the line of scrimmage and going to fall forward for a couple of yards. 3rd down and 4 for the Panthers as the ball has been moved up to the 46.5-yard line. Ross?
Manageable 3rd down for the Panthers, the second manageable 3rd down on this drive, and that is important because this is right in the wheelhouse. I'd look for maybe a trap here.
Coach Taylor says the other team can't score if they never get the ball.
That's it.
And right now he's doing a great job with the team of milking the clock. 7:42 to go here in Hampshire, Texas, in this 11-4A finale. 3rd down and 4 for the Panthers.
Look for that little quarterback follow again. That's what they got the first down a while ago and it picked up about 5.
Caden Nolan under center. And this time he's going to keep the ball himself. Going to attempt the option, and
it's going to be a turnover.
That's going to be a fumble on the pitch, and the Longhorns are going to come up with the ball, and that's going to be a 1st down and 10 for them, Ross.
That pitch coming in at the waist of Austin Walker, but it came in a little too hard and bounced right off of him, and there was a scramble for the ball. Hamshire-Fanette coming up with it. Not ideal, less than optimal.
I don't think he was looking. I don't think he actually saw the ball come out of Caden's hand.
Well, what we have there, we've got the first down for the Longhorns. We'll talk about that play in just a second. The Longhorns, a throwing team. We saw quite a bit of that during the JV contest yesterday. And I say that they're going to run that little delay handoff to the lone back. And that's going to pick up a few yards. It's number 8 for them, Jordan Joyner, and quarterback number 3, Keegan Heckman, who's going to be passing for the Longhorns. And he's quite an accomplished young man so far in the season, from what I understand.
Titus Bell and Bo Fowler combining for that tackle.
Trips to the right, and going to be a quick pass, and that's going to hit the dirt and stop the clock at 6:51 in the first quarter. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long for the Longhorns. Ross?
Jordan Denson was the intended receiver, the senior from Hamshire-Fanette, and he had no chance on that as that was well overthrown.
A lot of times teams will run this sort of spread offense, and it is passing, but it's really passing to run the ball, quick hitters and such. Although they showcased a very good ability last night to hit the deep ball, the post and the slants. Doubles to the left and right for Heckman. He surveys the field, going to let it fly, and it's going to be in and out of the hands of number 4, Austin Baker, and that's going to bring up 4th down and long for the Longhorns at the 6:47 mark of the first quarter. Both teams all tied up at zeros. Panthers turning it over on their first possession. Longhorns in the middle of their first possession, Ross.
Would not be surprised to see the defense for Liberty blitzing some more this week as they did in last week's game, as they were able to get some pressure on that Bridge City quarterback, and that really helped as the game progressed. I see that again tonight.
Max backfield for Heckman. The quarterback doubles to his left, and now the running back going to step up to that tight end spot, switching in the backfield and dropping back. Heckman surveying, finding nothing, still on the run, going to let it fly deep, and it's going to be right into the hands of the Longhorn receiver it's going to be number 10, DJ Brown, and that's going to be a quick strike over the left-hand side, and that was a pretty little ball.
A great pass, pressure coming from Colby Ewing as he was able to spin past the lineman and just couldn't quite get across the field.
At the 6:36 mark of the first quarter, the Longhorns strike first. Long touchdown pass. And Neil, what was that?
4 plays, 46 yards. Number 10, I don't know what his name is. You can look
DJ
at
Brown.
DJ Brown scores on a pass. Let's see what the kick does.
And now the Longhorns on for the extra point. And this is going to be kicking for them number 40. Is that 44? No, number 40, Daniel Caballero. And the kick is up. It is through. And again, at the 6:36 mark, the Hamshire-Fanette Longhorns take the early 7-0 lead on the long strike from Heckman to Brown. And that is not what the Panthers wanted to do to start the contest. And we've seen that many times, Ross, turnovers leading to points.
Well, turnovers in a very dangerous part of the field. And the Panther defense was able to hold on 3 downs, and then on that 4th down play, that receiver got behind Nolan, who had the coverage, and that ball was thrown perfectly by the quarterback. Only his receiver could catch that ball.
Yeah, that was going to be a catch or out of the back of the end zone.
And good execution on their part. Good coverage by Nolan, but there was just nothing he could do short of pass interference.
Senior Jolyn Curtis and sophomore Alex Valtierra back deep for the Panthers for this kickoff, and I'm going to assume that number 40 Caballero is going to be on to kick for the Longhorns. And one of the things, now that the Panthers know that they have been eliminated from playoff contention, there could be a relaxedness to them tonight to try some new things. We might see some fun stuff from Coach Taylor tonight, that last play notwithstanding.
I would not be surprised to see some, maybe a hook and ladder, just some deep balls.
Yep.
And target Gavin Fontenot.
Okay, Longhorns ready, and that ball is going to be high, not super deep, fielded cleanly by Valtierra. Still on his feet and getting bumped down at about the 26-yard line. Valtierra over the last several weeks has had very, very nice returns, and that's something to hang your hat on moving forward. The sophomore return man. Nice to see that bright spot.
That was kind of an unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think he ran into his own guy there.
He ran into William Waldrop, who was putting a block on and had to kind of shuffle to his right, and Valtierra went right into the back of him.
All right, on for the Panther offense. Again in their double tight, double wing formation. Titus Bell at that fullback spot. And they're going to hand the ball coming over the right-hand side. And that could be Austin Walker.
I think it was. Yeah, I just heard the field announcement.
Yep, that's number 5, Austin Walker. Going to pick up about a yard on the carry. Going to bring up 2nd down and 9. And I would think probably the seniors are going to get a healthy dose of playing time tonight, as this is going to be their last ball game.
And in that play, that defensive line from Hampshire was able to just push back into the backfield, and Austin able to get a couple of yards or a yard.
Yeah, that's more like 2 yards.
2 yards.
Closer to 2 yards.
2nd down and 8-ish for the Panthers. Under 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Panthers trailing 7-0. Mason Goodo with the ball over the left-hand side, going to get met. Looks like it's in the backfield. Could be close to the line of scrimmage. I don't know if he picked up anything there, and actually the official is indicating to move forward, so he picked up a yard.
They had Zach Davis pulling on that play over towards the far side, and that opened up a little bit of a gap.
5:26 and counting here in the first quarter. Your Liberty Panthers trailing 7-0. 3rd down and long for the Panthers in their own territory. Nolan under center for the Panthers. And there's some movement there, and we're going to get a timeout from the Liberty Panthers. They're going to take their first timeout at the 5:05 mark of the first quarter. They're going to talk about it. Almost thought they had the Longhorns offsides there, but didn't pull the trigger on that snap.
There was no contact there, but
yeah, as long as he gets back, doesn't make contact. As long as he's not caught in the neutral zone when the ball snapped and doesn't make contact, it's not encroachment or offside.
You know, in my opinion, those are the best offside penalties when they're not making contact and they get into the neutral zone, the ball snaps because it's a free play. You can do whatever you want to do with it.
The center goes on and snaps the ball early.
All right, gang, while we're waiting, one more time, I want to remind everyone, junior Patrick Flowers headed to the state cross-country meet tomorrow. He'll be representing Liberty High School. 10:30 a.m. The 4A cross-country boys will be running, and he's going to be running in Round Rock, and I cannot wait because I get to drive there tonight.
That's what I was going to say. Is there a coach going with him tomorrow?
Get to drive there. He's actually already there at the hotel, and he was able to preview the course today, and I'm looking forward to see what he's doing. Caden Nolan dropping back, throwing the ball. Going to be fielded cleanly by number 9, Mason Goodo, and that's one of the first great passes that we've had in a while.
That's very good.
And that was a great play by Mason Goodo, holding on to that ball as the defender came right in and hit him. The coverage was by Talon Clark. He's a junior for Hampshire. And right on that sideline, tiptoe the sideline to stay in, keep a foot in, and he did a wonderful job there.
First down pickup on the pass, 1st and 10 from the Panther 41-yard line. Again, the Panthers moving left to right, south to north. Here in the first quarter, 4:42 to go. Panthers looking to extend this drive, still in that double tight, double wing formation. Nolan under center. Ball's going to be handed off, I think. Kind of hard to see from here.
That looked like a quick snap.
So,
and then it was a keeper from Nolan.
Okay, there we go. Nolan called his own number there and followed the blockers. And now,
picked up 5.
Not sure okay, he's heading over to catch the play here.
Austin Walker and Mason Goodo checking out of the game.
Gonna be a nice little carry on first down for about 4 yards. Going to bring up 2nd down and 6. Panthers on their own 45-yard line. 4:05 to go here in the first quarter. Panthers trailing 7-0. Turning the ball over on their first possession. And now they are in the middle of their second possession and looking very strong so far. Valtiera in motion, going to take the ball over the left-hand side, still on his feet. And going to pick up a few more yards on that. Very close to first down yardage. Ross?
Jolin Curtis and Titus Bell there with the blocks that allowed that run as they teamed up on one of the linebackers for Hampshire. Had to think about who we were playing.
Panthers just short of the 50-yard line and about 2 yards away from the line to gain. 3rd down and short for the Panthers at the 3:21 mark in the first quarter. Again, Panthers trailing 7-0.
I hate to say it, but this is almost the exact same field position they were in for the turnover.
On the 47 before.
And this time Curtis going to take the ball, following his blockers, punches through the small gap that he found, and he's going to pick up first down yardage, going to move the sticks. And now the Panthers finally into Longhorn territory, 1st and 10 from the Longhorn 47-yard line. Ross?
As he was making that run, lowered his shoulder and went right into Joyner for Hampshire, the senior. And I think Joyner, that was a pretty good lick by Jolin Curtis.
That was pretty nice. What I really liked about that, he came through there and he had his hand on the back of his blocker and he just followed him right in there, and then he just stuck his nose like one of those piney wood rooters and just found some pay dirt. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. This time Valtiera of the left-hand side. And he is going to maybe pick up a yard on the carry. The Longhorns doing a pretty good job of stringing it out left and right, and the Panthers having most success trying to get up in the gaps between the tackles.
And that's been their bread and butter all year. They run it out on the ends to kind of open up that a little bit to prevent them from just loading the box on the defensive side.
So bring up 2nd down and 9 for the Panthers at the 2:02 mark in the first quarter. Panthers in the middle of their second drive. Caden Nolan under center, double tight, double wing formation. Mason Goodo in motion, and not gonna
halfback pass actually.
Yeah, Alex Valtiera was the intended receiver, and that one was well overthrown.
That was Austin Walker making that pitch there.
Yeah, that was that confused our cameraman, and it confused me.
Yeah, Valtiera was between the 30 and the 25, and that ball landed inside the 20.
That's going to stop the clock at the 1:50 mark of the first quarter. 3rd down and extremely long for the Panthers. The first time that they've faced a less than manageable 3rd down situation so far in this young game. Panthers.
We got number 25 in. Number 25 is Colton Bishop. I think I'm sorry, 15 is what I was looking at.
Gavin Fontenot.
Gavin Fontenot. He's the real catcher.
And shotgun, and this Austin Walker dropped back and got tripped up, and he's going to lose a yard on that play. Going to be sacked behind the line of scrimmage.
Colton Singletary was on the ground, reached back, and was able to get a hold of his legs.
It's going to be up 4th down and 10 for the Panthers, and Coach Taylor going to trot out the punt team, sophomore Brian Montez. And this is where we kind of cross our fingers and hold our breath. This has been pretty wild most of the season.
The snaps are kind of iffy from time to time. That's
a
good
good snap,
though.
and Montez gets it away nicely.
Kick.
It's going to hit and take a Panther roll, and what has seemed like an Achilles heel, maybe. I don't want to jinx anything, but that was the first nice punt that they've had in some time,
Down
Ross.
to is he marking on the 10?
Yes.
10-yard line. So from the 47 down to the 10, 37-yard net, that's pretty good.
Jordan Joyner, that was the return man for Hampshire, and he did the smart thing and backed away from that. We've seen it a couple of times in this season on punts by both teams where they have attempted to field a ball that shouldn't be fielded, and in one case, the Panthers were able to pull out a heads-up play and jump on it in the end zone.
All right, Heckman bringing on the Longhorn offense again in that shotgun formation. Going to have double receivers to his left.
This is not a good place to pass. I kind of hope he does. It's a good place for an interception.
They have doubles to his right and going to roll to his left.
Schoolhouse.
And going to get hit very quickly and going to be led by, is that Mr. Ewing there?
Yes.
There you go, Mr. Ewing.
And linebacker Bo Fowler did not bite. He waited home and then immediately started to move, and that caused one of the Hampshire players to have to pull off to cover Fowler.
And Heckman able to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Longhorns at the 35-second mark. Heckman rolling, and they're going to hand the delay off, and that's going to be a nice call. Big pickup on the ground for the Longhorns. That's number 1, Tyler Spencer, with the I would call that a draw, and that's going to move the sticks for the Longhorns, and that may do it for the first quarter. They may try to get one more play off if they're fast.
Huge
Looks like what
burst
they're
of
trying
speed.
to do. Again, shotgun formation, doubles to the left and right for Heckman. And again, going to hand the ball off. And this time the Panthers there and finally cleaning him up. And that's number 6, Dante Zeno. With
6 or 5?
I'm sorry, number 5, Jordan Denson with the carry. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. After one in Hampshire, your Liberty Panthers trailing 7-0 and looking to stop this Hamshire-Fanette offense that at times this season has really shone brightly.
Bo Fowler, Caleb Chandler, and of course a name that's always in the backfield, Colby Ewing there, doing a great job of breaking through that line and getting into the backfield and forcing, I believe it was, who was the ball carrier?
That was number 5, Jordan Denson.
Jordan Denson to kind of shift a little bit, and that was enough to get him down.
I like that. That's that finality. That's enough to get him down.
Did that bring it to the 36, 37, 36?
It looks like they're going to be on the 36-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and about 6, or I'm going to call that 6 for the Longhorns. Just about ready to start the second quarter. You're watching the Liberty Panthers Sports Network on panthersports.com. That's sports with a Z, but if you're watching this, you already know that.
Yes.
And you know why it's sports with a Z?
Well, not necessarily if you found it on YouTube.
That's true. Good. Nice, crisp, cool evening tonight for football on this lovely November 5th. Heckman in the shotgun formation, doubles to his left and right. Man in motion coming to across, and Heckman going to call his own number. And evading one would-be tackler, finally being pulled down by, looks like, number 28 for the Panthers, and that is Gavin Becker, a name that we don't call a bunch on defense, but he does a fairly good job back there for them.
That was a great job, patient, wrapped up, and was able to get him down. That's a big quarterback, and he was able to take him on.
Big.
Quarterback had the size advantage, but the strength of Becker.
The Longhorns have had a string of pretty good quarterbacks the last several years. First down and 10 for the Longhorns at the 11:28 mark in the second quarter. Longhorns leading your Liberty Panthers 7-0. Heckman going to hand the ball off this time to number 1 Tyler Spencer, and looked like he had some yards and then pulled out of that pile and went backwards and going to lose on that carry. Had he just stayed there, he might have been able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Caleb Chandler with the tackle, but that was a team effort as 3 or 4 guys were able to break that line.
Actually, it looks like they're going to give him credit for getting back to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to say that his forward progress was there. They might have blown the whistle before he went backwards. I couldn't hear that.
No, they didn't. They didn't blow the whistle until they got him down. I was worried he was going to get loose. They finally got him down. They blew the whistle, but that's as far forward as he got, so that's what he got.
Second down and 10 for the Longhorns. Heckman in the shotgun formation, man in motion over to the right-hand side. And
Hampshire's going to have to call a timeout. They did not have their men set.
At the 10:33 mark of the second quarter, the Longhorns of Hamshire-Fanette take their first timeout. Hamshire-Fanette leading 7-0. And the Panthers actually playing pretty cleanly tonight. Not too many mistakes, barring that first. And these field conditions, always a little interesting when we come to Hamshire-Fanette. It's even if it doesn't rain, this field holds moisture very well, and sometimes makes it a little crazy out on the field, Ross.
The last couple of years, it's been kind of the opposite. It's been more like cement, but this year I was down on the field before the game, and quicksand is a good way to
well, the humidity's taking all the moisture out
I'll
of it.
finish the thought at some time.
The lack of humidity's taking all the moisture out of the top of the ground here, so it's kind of dry.
We're selling squares to see when you are going to finish your thought, Ross.
It's one of those nights, Joe. I'm thinking about the drive.
Second down and 10 for the Longhorns at the 10:33 mark here in the second quarter. Longhorns leading 7-0. Heckman in that shotgun formation, dropping back, looking over the middle of the field, and just a little too far for the receiver number 5, and that's going to stop the clock at 10:28 and bring up third down and 10 for the Longhorns. And the Panthers all season long have been a little susceptible to the pass. That time played it pretty well.
Well, Titus Bell got in there, and he dragged a offensive lineman to make a hit on that quarterback.
And
that may be a free play for the Longhorns. Going to throw that ball high to the outside and almost picked off, but that would have been nothing doing. That's going to be offside against the Panthers, and that's going to push the down box forward. You get me, Ross.
Titus was in the neutral zone when the ball was snapped, so perfect example of what we was talking about a while ago. So
nice arching spiral pass from the quarterback.
You know, when you got that free play, you do that. You go for the end zone. If you're close enough, you just throw that ball, come what may.
Keegan Heckman, a senior. So it'll be interesting to see who next year Hamshire-Fanette replaces him with. As you said earlier, Joe, a long line of very good quarterbacks.
That's going to bring up third down and 5 for the Longhorns. Going to be on their own 48-yard line, middle of the hash marks. My clock went away at the 10:20 mark. The second quarter. Longhorns leading the Panthers 7-0. 11-4 a finale for both teams. Heckman awaiting the snap. Going to get that. Dropping back. Looking to his right. And gun sight's just a little too low that time. And that's going to fall harmlessly in the dirt. Going to bring up fourth down and 5 for the Longhorns.
He's 0 for 4 passing tonight. That's as well as he throws the ball, as nice a ball as he throws.
Well, he can't be 0 for 4 because he threw a touchdown.
Well, that's right. He's 1 for 5. That's what it is. Why did I not? How did that not show up?
He had to get rid of that ball a little faster than he wanted to. Titus Bell was right there ready to lay some wood on him.
And they are right in that spot. They're going to go for it here. Or they could be trying to draw the Panthers offside. Not sure. Heckman in that shotgun formation. He has doubles to his right and left. One man in the backfield with him, Tyler Spencer. And they're going to have to take a timeout and talk about this.
Yeah, the coaches are delivering signs over there that or they're trying to buy something at an auction.
So at the 10:14 mark of the second quarter, the Longhorns take their second timeout of the half. Again, they are leading 7-0, facing a fourth down and 5 situation near midfield. Panthers playing pretty well tonight. We were a little concerned that there's two possible things that happen when you are facing a finale where there's nothing on the line. Number one is you show up, you don't care, and you goof off. And number two, you show up and you're ready to go and you want to go out in some style. And it looks like that's what they're trying to do right now.
Yeah, and you go out with some licks. You make the last one count.
And they are going to bring on the punt team this time. It looks like they were trying to draw the Panthers offside with that last, and it did not work. So they are going to bring the punt team on. And the Panthers are not going to send anyone back, which is probably pretty smart here.
Means they may be going after no, here they go. They're backing up.
And that's going to be a high punt to the left, and that's going to hit and take a Longhorn bounce, a big Longhorn bounce and roll. And that's going to get deep into Panther territory. Going to be at the 9-yard line. Is a really nice punt by the Longhorns.
Brown
Who's that?
The punter.
Okay, so that's different. Number 10. Oh, that's one of their main guys. All right, DJ Brown with a nice punt. It's going to bring up first down and 10 for the Panthers at the 10-minute mark of the second quarter. We're here in Hampshire, Texas for the 11-4A finale between your Liberty Panthers and the Hamshire-Fanette Longhorns.
43-yard punt.
And about probably 20 of that was
roll
on the ground.
Well, it had a nice roll to it, and then it hit something in the field that just propelled it even further.
Yeah, that was
golf
really
course,
nice.
You'd think that was a sprinkler head.
You know what? That was what I was thinking. As soon as it hit, it just took off.
All right. So far, so good for the Panthers. It'd be nice for them to get something going on this drive, starting deep in their territory. The first and 10 for the Panthers. And Curtis going to take the ball on the right-hand side. Still on his feet, pops through the tiniest of gaps there. And going to pick up quite a bit of yards.
Got behind Victor Ruiz.
Yeah, that was a really nice run. He was gone, and then all of a sudden, it's like he stepped through that door to Narnia.
Yeah, Victor Ruiz opening that up for Joel and Curtis.
We have second down and about 3 for the Panthers. 9:34 and counting here in the second quarter. Panthers in the middle of I think this is their third possession, right?
Important there by the Panthers to have that big first down play at this part of the field.
Nolan under center for the Panthers. And this time, again, Valtiera going to take the ball, and he's going to trip over looks like he trips over the yard line right there. Now you can see, based on that, kind of the sketchiness of the field there. It didn't take much to knock somebody down.
Yeah, that tackle will go to the field.
And that's going to lose a couple of yards on the play. Going to bring up third down and 5 for the Panthers. And that was shaping up to be pretty nice, I think. The blockers were out there, and the green grass was calling his name.
All he had to do, and when he fell, he was juking that linebacker in. He's trying to make it linebacker turn in. He got his feet crossed up and went over.
This time Curtis in motion. Going to take the ball on the right-hand side, trying to find a gap and not able to turn the corner. Might have picked up a yard on the carry. That's going to bring up fourth down and about 3 or 4 for the Panthers. And it looks as though they're going to send on the punt team.
Yeah, this deep, you don't want to chance it.
And Montez, the sophomore, going to be close to the goal line here. And this is where you want to get this as pretty as you please right into his hands so he can unleash the beast. And when he connects, he can do it really well. And that was a nice punt. That's going to hit at the 45 and then be fielded at the following 45. Still on his feet, the Longhorn return man. And finding the corner and still on his feet and juking. And that's going to be a punt return for a touchdown. And a nice punt turns into a score.
They're going to say this ball is.
Are they going to say you stepped out of bounds?
I believe so. You have one of the officials at about what would have been a first down for Liberty.
The field judge is looks like he's about the 17-yard line.
Well, that's going to bring that back. It's still a nice return no matter what.
Yeah, from the 45 down to the following 17. So,
yeah, that would have been
33 and 5 is 38.
Yeah, that would have been a 55-yard return for a touchdown had he been able to put that
It's
in.
about a 40-yard return.
Okay, we're going to see what's going on here. I saw the signal for a personal foul, but they pointed in the direction of
Oh, wait a minute.
Liberty.
It may be penalty against Liberty, and they're going to decline. Let's see. Okay, so penalty against Liberty, decline, touchdown. That's going to be a 40-yard, 55-yard return.
That is going to be a touchdown return for the Longhorns. And at the 7:44 mark of the second quarter, Longhorns return the punt for the touchdown. Currently 13-0, awaiting the extra point attempt from Caballero.
That was a personal foul is what they called on that.
Holding is 7. And the kick is up, and it is through. 7:44 mark of the second quarter, the Longhorns on the punt return take the lead 14-0. Or I guess they already had the lead. They add to their lead 14-0.
Who was that young man that brought that ball back? Was it number 6?
Well,
6.
I never did get a.
I
was thinking
6.
it was 8, but we'll go with 6.
Well, I'm not sure it was 6. It was either 5 or 8.
Well,
We'll have to go to our replay crew, which
Yes.
we don't have.
So we have a visitor. I met this visitor. If you look on your screen right now, maybe at midfield.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have yet to come here for a game, soccer or football, where a dog didn't come onto this field.
Yeah, this dog was here before the game. He was. It may be the same dog from last year. Our producer Richard Ewing says, and looking at the dog now across the 5 and just crossed into the end zone and going out the corner of the end zone.
Well, that's the best play-by-play I've heard all season long, Ross. You're going to have to call the Puppy Bowl.
Now making it onto the track. It's going the wrong way though. Up now turning around.
So you got too much time on your hands here. Now they are going to assess. Looks like they're going to assess that penalty on this kickoff here.
whoa. If they're going to assess the penalty on the kickoff, then they took the penalty.
Yep, that's going to push the Panthers are lined up very deep right now.
It may have been a dead ball penalty. It was a personal foul.
Well, okay, if it was dead ball
He did not
penalty,
make
that's
the announcement dead ball, but that's the only thing I can think of, right, Neil? Because if it took place during the play and it was not dead, that would have you had to decline it or it would have brought it back.
Well, at any rate, they're lining up on the Panther 45-yard line, so one can only conclude that they did take the penalty there. And I'm going to guess that he's going to kick this out of the back of the end zone, but who knows?
I'm not so sure here in this position. I wouldn't be surprised if they were to go onside.
Yeah, you called it.
Alabama.
And that went straight out of bounds, and there's going to be a flag on the field on the far sideline.
It's actually illegal procedure when you kick it out of bounds.
Well, that's why the flag was thrown.
Right.
I was just thinking where they were kicking that from. If you look at what the defense has been able to do tonight, they've been able to contain Liberty's offense for the most part, a couple of first downs, but I think they feel pretty confident that they're going to be able to give Liberty this field position. Now Liberty just has to execute and make them pay.
Liberty's got 3 first downs.
3 first downs.
Hamshire-Fanette's only got 2. But
Well, Ross, you are in fuego tonight, man. On fire. I love it. Where's this been all year long, Ross?
I'm saving it.
Saving the best for last. Liberty Panther Sports Network on panthersports.com. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Neil Thornton, producer Richard Ewing. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Jolyn Curtis in motion. Nolan dropping back, finding a wide open number 15, Fontenot, still on his feet, cutting back inside, finally being brought down deep in Longhorn territory.
13-yard line.
If you're going to draw it up, you might as well draw it up like that, Ross.
That was a great pass and catch, and Talon Clark ran all the way down the field and was able to tackle Fontenot. And right there, Jordan Joyner, a name we've called on the offensive side quite a bit. He was there on the tackle, but it was Talon Clark who pulled him down from behind.
49-yard pitch and catch on that first down play.
1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 7:20 mark of the second quarter. Curtis again in motion, going to take the ball, cuts back to the middle, finds a gap, and picks up a big chunk of yards there. It's going to be close.
He's starting to smell the end zone, wasn't he?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Cade Jordan with a good block there,
Well, yeah,
allowing him to get those final few yards.
You brought it down to the 8? Huh?
Is that
the 8?
Second down and
no, the 7?
fairly short for the Panthers.
I think you were right, Neil. It looks like the 8.
They can get a first down without scoring here and drop the sticks. Going to come back out here. Caden Nolan under center for the Panthers. And this time I'm going to toss it to Curtis, right-hand side, cuts back to the middle, still on his feet, trying to fall into the end zone. Not going to do it, but definitely going to pick up first down yardage. That's going to drop the sticks and bring up first and goal from about the 2-yard line, maybe 3, hard to say from my vantage point. Panthers looking nice on this drive, something that we've been missing the last couple of weeks, Ross.
Some misdirection there as they have really had some success going inside on this Hampshire defense, but that play set up as if maybe they were going to try to get the edge.
First and goal for the Panthers at the 6:04 mark of the second quarter. Nolan again under center. This time going to toss the ball to Valtiera. And he's going to be pulled back after getting back to maybe the line of scrimmage. He looks like he picked up a yard.
I think they're giving him down to about the 2.
It's going to be close.
Which would be 2 yards.
Okay.
Did they put it on the 2 or the 3?
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was Colton Bishop.
Oh, was that Bishop? That was 25, not 22?
Yeah, I thought
was it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought it was Valtiera, but then
sorry.
as he ran off, I saw
You saw a 5?
a 5 and had to think about that for a minute.
All right. Well, you think about it. You're on fire tonight, so I'm going to bow to your superior numerical skill. Okay.
Run your quarterback
Nolan again,
follow.
second and goal for the Panthers. Curtis in motion, going to take the ball, cutting back up the middle, and finally, pay dirt, touchdown, Panthers at the 5:10 mark of the second quarter. Liberty Panthers striking with the touchdown run, senior Jolin Curtis. Ross?
Excellent field position for the Panthers to start this drive after the failed onside kick by Hampshire, and they made them pay, and it all started with that pass and catch.
Brian Montez on for the extra point. The hold is good. The snap was even better, and the kick was wonderful. Through the uprights. At the 5:10 mark of the second quarter, the Panther offense coming to life and scoring a touchdown. Now trailing by a score of 14-7. But, man, we've been missing this lately, Ross.
That was a beautiful drive by the Panthers, and that is what you expect. Well, not the 49-yard pass, I believe is what you said, Neil, it was.
Yeah, 49.
But
all right, Neil, you ready for some?
That's pretty easy. Five plays, 63 yards. Jolin Curtis goes in from the 3 on the run. PAT's good, 14-7.
All right, Liberty Panthers in this 11-4A finale, trailing by a touchdown, but getting on the board here in the second quarter. Ross?
Well, it was nice to see on this drive the Panthers down 14-0. And we talked about 2 ways you can play that when you get down 14-0, have nothing on the line here. And they got mad, and they forced a touchdown.
And like y'all said at the beginning of the game, expect to see something a little different because really nothing to lose. And they flooded the zone out here, and that was actually missed coverage on that pass play. And they flooded the zone through it to the deeper person that was completely uncovered, and he got 49 yards out of it.
All right,
the pass
Montez,
was only about 15 yards.
Montez on the kick, going to be high, not super deep, fielded cleanly at the 20. And the Panthers trying to pull that down, finally getting pushed out of bounds by number 28, Gavin Becker. And the Panthers are going to – that's who's that return man? Is that number –
6.
Oh, number 8, Jordan Joyner with the return.
Again, that's the guy that returned the punt a while ago?
Yes, sir.
And that's going to be 1st and 10 from the Longhorn. We're going to call this the 33-yard line. Near hash mark. 5:05 to go here in the second quarter. Longhorns leading the Panthers 14-7. But this has been a game, and this is something that we were hoping to see.
Get it back right here.
Heckman, the quarterback for the Longhorns in the shotgun formation. Single receiver to his right. Trips to his left, and we're going to have a delay of game against the Longhorns. That's going to push the ball back 5. Something that we like to see, moving in the wrong direction. Well, the correct direction for us. Producer Richard Ewing, always helpful in my ear whenever I say something not right.
Yeah, he enjoys that.
He definitely enjoys it. He plays a little game where he tries to say stuff in our ear to get us to talk to him without anyone else hearing it. It's actually pretty fun. Well, maybe they're not going to mark it off. I thought they were going to mark this off. He called delay of game, and now there's nothing.
It's not okay. So
maybe they didn't call that on them because the clock hadn't been set correctly. Well, Heckman going to keep the ball on the quarterback-designed run to the left, still on his feet. Heckman, a big fella.
Big old boy.
And he's got some speed, and he's going to be close to the first down.
Let's see where they sit.
Oh, there's a flag on the backside of the play. That's probably going to be holding, I would imagine.
I would think so. Gavin Becker forced him out of bounds there.
And that is going to be holding against the Longhorns. That's going to bring the ball back.
So now they go backwards.
Now they go backwards. And this is something throughout the season, these inopportune things that happen, and it seems to have been happening against the Panthers, and perhaps tonight is their night as it's nice in the wheel. That's going to be, that's a big loss there.
It happened in the backfield.
Yep. That's going to bring up first and a mile for the Longhorns. Heckman in the shotgun formation doubles to his right, and the lone back to his left on the short side. Jet motion, and they're going to hand the ball to the running back over the right-hand side, still on his feet, and he's going to pick up a big chunk of those penalty yards and get back to maybe the original line of scrimmage.
William Waldrop got him around the thighs and pulled him down.
Actually, he's going to get past the original line of scrimmage. Bring up second down and 9 for the Longhorns at the 4:30 mark of the second quarter. Your Liberty Panthers trailing 7-14 in this 11-4A finale. Heckman in the empty set here. Trips to his left, doubles to his right. Man in motion coming to him, and the quarterback going to keep the ball and try to pick up a chunk of yards and get dropped by, looks like number 10, Caleb Chandler. Couple of yards on the pickup, 3rd down and 6 for the Longhorns, just shy of their own 40-yard line on the 38 or so. Far hash mark, under 4 minutes to go, and so far so good. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Panthers, knock on wood.
It's going to be interesting here. This is a down that they can throw the ball and maybe another deep ball.
Heckman going to have the delay handoff again. And this time the Longhorns are going to get stopped, but not before they pick up the first down yardage up to their 46-yard line. And that's going to be 1st and 10 for the Longhorns at the 3:31 mark, Ross.
Well, a couple of interesting things. One, I was wrong. They ran the ball. And two, I saw something you don't normally see in football. One of the offensive linemen had probably one of the greatest flops in football trying to draw the holding penalty.
1st and 10 for the Longhorns. And they're going to hand the ball again over the right-hand side, trying to catch the edge, and not even close. The Panthers clean up there, and that's a nice stop by the Panthers, Ross.
Quentin Johnston was all over that one, and he is the one that made the initial contact that threw him off his feet, and then a couple of other Panthers come in and take him down.
It's going to be a loss of 3 on the play, going to bring up 2nd down and 13. Under 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. The Panthers trying to prevent the Longhorns from scoring on this drive. They are going to be receiving the second half kickoff. Don't want the Longhorns to get anything going here late in the half.
Second about 13 here.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Doubles to the right and man in motion, number 83 coming across to the left. Heckman in the shotgun backfield with a lone back next to him. Going to drop back, looking for something. Going to get some pressure put on him. It rolls out of the pressure and tosses it to a wide open receiver, and finally being pulled down by number 5, Austin Walker.
What number is
and
that?
Ruiz almost able to pull him down in the backfield and just slipped off of him.
Well, and then he was going to get back to him, and it was right on the line, a borderline call. Whether or not there was a hold there or a block in the back, I guess would have been the better way to say it.
1st and 10 from deep in Panther territory, as they are, looks like they're close to the Panther 25-yard line, about 26-yard line. Trips to the right for Heckman. Man in motion coming back to the short side, and the quarterback going to keep the ball and still on his feet. Finally being pulled down, and Heckman trying to play some bully ball out there.
Peyton Freejay went head on, and coming in was William Waldrop to finish him off. And he is a really big quarterback who is not afraid to pull the ball down and run with it.
It's a dangerous weapon when you have really a grown man back there.
Yeah,
he can run, he can throw, and he's big enough that if you don't hit him squarely, you're going to be in some trouble.
I wish they had their height and weight on their roster.
Again,
because he's a big guy.
Deep throwing to the left-hand side, going to be fielded cleanly on the sideline, and the Panthers finally pulling him down, and there's going to be a flag, and that I'm guessing that's probably going to go against the Panthers.
I would think so. I couldn't quite see, but maybe a face mask
that's
penalty.
what I was thinking.
What's his number 4? Is that 4 over there?
Yes. Austin Baker.
They get the ball down to the what?
Where did they get that ball originally?
Well, it looks like they're on close to the 10-yard line.
And that is a personal foul against Liberty.
Well, that's going to be half the distance there. Once they mark this ball off, and that's going to bring up 1st and goal for the Longhorns. That is going to be a face mask. I can hear it now. And that is going to cause the Panthers to take a timeout here.
Yeah, they were having some personnel issues, and after that big play and then penalty, they need a breather and kind of regroup here, as they don't have much margin for error. But we have seen this defense stop from this area
at the
over and over.
At the 1 in one game this year, you remember? Stopped them at the 1, and the offense got the ball back and drove it 99 yards and scored.
At the 56-second mark of the second quarter, the Panthers take their second timeout of the half, and that's going to bring up 1st and goal for the Longhorns. Again, not super ideal. The Longhorns will be receiving the second half kickoff. This is something that they wanted to avoid.
It says the ball's on the 3, so that was penalty, right?
Yes, that was from penalty yardage.
Yeah.
Now, the question I have is whether or not Hampshire has, and it's really not of importance here with 56 seconds left and the ball on the 3, but the scoreboard shows 3 timeouts for Hampshire, but I believe they've called 2.
They've called
2. I think both teams have taken 2 timeouts.
I know Liberty's taken 1. I don't know if they've taken 2 or not.
This was their second timeout right here.
Okay.
Yeah, both teams should have 1 apiece. Heckman in the shotgun formation here. He may call his own number, and he is going to do that. Left-hand side trying to get through there.
Got down to the 1.
Going to be pulled down by his own blocker. And that's going to bring up 2nd and goal for the Longhorns. Going to be on we call that the 1-yard line, half-yard line.
That is always a problem when you get down to this part of the field. You just don't have a lot of real estate for them to go.
And I can't believe they're not slow playing this to try to burn the clock up. Heckman again calling his own number, and this time he gets stopped. He gets stopped again, and the Longhorns forced to take their last timeout, 3rd and goal. 19 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Longhorns leading 14-7 and trying to punch one more time before the half ends, Ross.
Well, watching his running style through the first half, I was a little surprised that he hesitated there and didn't just try to run over the guy in his way, one of them being his blockers, because he didn't have to go far
just get in behind
to get into the touchdown.
Just get in behind him, kind of ride him in. But he did get turned around the other direction.
Liberty Panthers really for most of the season, and again, you might look at the score and think that I'm talking crazy, but they really have played pretty good defense most of the season. A lot of those lopsided scores, they were really starting from non-ideal real estate.
Well, and a lot of it wasn't scored on the defense. A lot of it be scored on
special teams.
Special teams, returns. We've had 2 or 3 touchdowns this year on returns that I can remember.
And deep balls, that has been something they've been, Joe, I think you said earlier in the broadcast, they've been susceptible to, and we've seen it once tonight.
And that's just I hate to say it, but that's just a lack of speed.
Heckman again in the shotgun formation, and had some rolling to his right, and this time may have been able to get in.
Yeah.
And they are going to give him the touchdown. So at the 12-second mark of the second quarter, the Longhorns finally punch it in on the legs of the quarterback, Keegan Heckman.
Run-pass option, actually.
And that's going to be 20-7 right now, with respect to the extra point that's about to occur, or the attempt, rather. Number 7 holding for the Longhorns. The snap is good, the hold's good, and the kick is going to be through, but there is going to be a flag on the play.
Yeah, it came in from the back judge.
It could be some offsides against the Panthers, and I'm going to assume that they're going to decline that, but I don't know. Still waiting for the white hat to make his call.
Flag did come in later.
They do talk about this an awful lot. And he still hasn't made a call.
Let's see.
Lifting is our producer Richard Ewing, who is down on the field.
You cannot pick people up and throw them in the air. That is definitely against the rules.
Yeah, they don't allow that
They do not allow. They are going to decline that penalty. And again, at the 12-second mark, the Longhorns take a 2-score lead, 21-7, and they will be receiving the second half kickoff. Panthers on. Valtiera and Curtis back deep for the Panthers.
Look for an onside at the beginning of the second half.
And I think our producer looking down there on the end zone, he's in the north side of the stadium, and he actually may be in a bowl down there. He might actually be lower than field level.
He's below sea level down there.
We did put him in a mud pit, so he could be sinking right now.
We gave him a tarp.
Well, we did give him a tarp.
Well, actually, he gave himself a tarp.
Probably should have given him a life preserver down there.
It could be. We do not have light equipment on that less than firm foundation that we put him on. Camera. There we go. There's the camera on the tent down there. The
setup.
Panthersports.com. Look at that. Look at that awesome looking producer down there. All right, and
that fools nobody.
The Longhorns with
they kept doing that last
with the tricksy stuff there.
Mess around and actually touch the ball.
And here they go, and the kick is going to be high, not particularly deep. It's going to hit and
particularly out of bounds.
It's going to go out of bounds, and that's going to give the Panthers
at about the 20. If they take it, they could make them kick it again.
I think I'd take it.
I don't know. I might make them kick it again here, but
getting return on
with
that.
12 seconds here, maybe.
True. Let's see where they're going to
get that nice field position. I think
they're going to get it about the 24.
I'm going to take this thing. Yeah, they're going to call
that.
that.
Cold. I may have to get you to turn this page for me. No, I got it.
Got a special message from our stat man, Neil Thornton, during our halftime program. Neil is hanging it up after tonight, after a long and glorious radio/video career.
Yeah,
you've
seen you've seen a lot. Going from the simple audio setup to this.
Yeah,
right.
And they're gonna do a little victory-esque formation and just down this and get out of the half, nothing doing. And that's going to do it for the first half. Your Liberty Panthers trailing 7-21 in this 11-4A finale. Headed into halftime. See what kind of adjustments that the Panthers make, Ross. And a final word before we kick it to our halftime show.
Well, one of the problems that the Panthers had were those first couple of drives where they could move the ball. They picked up, I think Neil said, 3 first downs, but then would just stall out after getting a first down.
Well, the fumble on the first possession, they were going along pretty good, gaining 4. At one point, after we had run 10 plays off, 7 of them had been for 4 yards. That meant just getting 4.
All right. And, you are watching the Liberty Panthers Sports Network on Panthersports.com. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing, statman Neil Thornton. 11-4A finale here in Hampshire, Texas. Your Liberty Panthers trailing 7-21. We're going to kick it to our halftime show. We'll see you back here in about 16 minutes or so for a special message from Statman Neil Thornton and then the second half kickoff. Mr. Ewing, take it away.
Yeah.
All right, Panther Nation, welcome to halftime. We are here in Hamshire-Fanette, and more importantly, we are here with our halftime guest, almost always, head coach Chad Taylor, athletic director, head football coach. Welcome to the halftime show, Coach.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Well, unfortunately, it seems like this is going to be our last hoorah for the season, right?
Absolutely. Unfortunately.
You ever think when you're talking, some of those cartoon text boxes just appear over your head? It seems like that would be appropriate right now, but it's just all the symbols that are just strung together.
Yep, I'll tell you what, it was, I thought our kids played really well on Friday. I thought they played hard. Our defense was flying around, and we did some really good things on offense, especially with the emergence of Alex Boucher, number 22. I thought he ran the ball extremely hard. I thought we did a much better job of blocking. We had a few situations, right before half. I thought we were in position to maybe get 3 points out of it, and all of a sudden we get a holding call, and then follow that up with a personal foul. And next thing you know, you go from a 30-yard field goal to a 50-yard field goal. So that seemed to kind of be something that could have been in our favor. But at the end of the day, man, our kids played hard.
Well, that's all you can ask for, really. I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, Coach Taylor. I'm going to turn the reins over to Ross, and I don't know what he wrote down. He wrote some questions down.
There's no telling what's fixing to happen.
This is get your popcorn ready. Who knows?
Yeah.
Coach, how have you seen your team grow this year?
Well, I mean, I think for a majority of them, it started back during the summer. I mean, they showed up, pretty regularly. I'd say half of our, over half of our team was there probably 90% of the time. And so that's where that started. We started building those bonds, and I think those guys have really, that's what athletics is supposed to do. It's supposed to help build you into a young man where you learn things like, hard work, adversity, and those kind of things have seemed to be, something we're kind of used to now, is a little bit of adversity. But I think these young men, they still come to work every day. They come to practice every day. They practice hard every day. And, at the end, for me, I wish our results would be a little bit different just for those guys, and I know how much work they put in.
What is one thing that stood out this year?
Oh, one thing that stood out here recently, it's it's been our lack of execution on our punt team. Yeah, you guys don't know how much we worked on punt last week after that West Orange debacle. And the very first time we come out there to punt last week, there it goes again. We give them the ball, but defensively, we cause them to go four and out and get the ball back. But just the one thing that I think that has stood out is, our group is really close. And I think those Thursday night meals that they do at one player's house, they've been doing it all year long, and just the feedback that I get from those parents, how well our kids behaved. To me, that's just a testament of the parenting that they're getting, their home training, I guess you would say, to go over to somebody else's house and not wreck it. I guess I can say that. I know they were at Mr. Ewing's house last week, and I hadn't heard anything about them tearing up his house. But I just think those guys, they got a good bond. Those guys love each other, and they play hard for each other.
Offensive and defensive MVPs for the season for you?
Man, you're asking me without really going back in there and really doing some digging. I would think that our nose guard Kobe Ewing has been probably the most consistent defensive player that we've had, even though, he's played the last 3 to 4 games with a broke wrist. It hasn't slowed him down. He's still got a motor. I think he's played well. And I'm not discrediting any of those other guys that play defense, because I think Waldrop has been consistent. I think Bo Fowler's played well all year long. Offensively, sometimes we're just hit and miss, but I mean, just the I think Jolin Curtis, has been the one guy that has been consistent when he's out there. We're going to get a consistent anywhere between 75 to 90 yards out of him. Last week he was hampered by a hip pointer and didn't practice, at all and all week long. And he tried to give it a go on Friday and was able to go a couple series, but he wasn't 100%. And I don't, you don't put a horse out there to run a race if he's not 100%. So, but I think he's kind of been one of the most consistent players we've had, especially in district.
What about your off-season priorities?
We got to get strong. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think we've played too much football on our side of the ball, and that just kind of goes back to, just our lack of strength. We played some young guys in a lot of positions, and so they haven't had the, the full 3 to 4 years of off season. So yeah, we're going to make that a priority. We've got to get stronger, and we're going to require those kids to participate in track, because we need to get a little bit faster as well.
Last question for me. Who are some players that might join varsity next year that you're looking forward to seeing?
Man, I'll tell you, the one guy that I'm interested in seeing is, we got a little JV quarterback named Mason Shellhammer that is tough as boot leather. And I mean, he's running a scout team against our defense. And here lately he's been doing some really good things that makes you go, that could be somebody that could be, he throws the ball pretty well. He's a little smaller fella, but he runs the ball well. And we've been having to do some zone reading the last couple of weeks against our defense. And there's been some times he's looked really good at doing that, So, I mean, that's definitely something that moving forward that we're going to really kind of explore a little bit more, to utilize his, because he can run. So, and he's physical. Not very big, but he's physical.
Ross, that was the greatest set of questions that you've had on the show this season. I don't even know if I can follow that.
There was never a hesitation in the question.
That was perfect. I feel I'm just.
It's amazing what happens when you write stuff down.
Absolutely.
Coach, looking to the future, to piggyback on what Ross just asked you, looking down at the middle school.
Yes, sir.
Your 8th grade team having some pretty good success. 7th grade team not too shabby either.
Yeah, I think both of those groups have got some talented players that you look forward to getting them together. I mean, I tell those 8th graders every year when I go down there and visit with them that this was the last year that you're going to actually play with this actual group of guys. Once you cross that fence, then we're able to combine four different grade levels to make the best team we can possibly make. They definitely have some kids that are going to be, looked at really hard, especially if they have a good off season as well. Our 7th grade group, they started off probably, they were 4-0, I think, at one time, and then they lost to a really good. West Orange has got an unbelievable 7th grade group, and then last week they lost a hard-fought, 16-14 game to Bridge City. So, but I will say that grades kind of got us with the 7th grade bunch, and we've lost about 3 or 4 guys that were really key to our success. In the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to the possibilities of having those two groups come together at some point in time, because I think they're physical and they fly around in the football as well.
And that West Orange Stark 7th grade team had that kid that looked like he'd already committed to LSU and could play for them tomorrow.
I'll guarantee you, I saw some video. It's probably the same kid we're talking about, but I saw some video on one young man, and he was I was like, man, I would take him on Friday right now if he wanted to play.
Coach, 2 weeks of training adversity. We had the fair week, and then we came off of that, and then out of nowhere we have this wind event. We have a tornado, and the great big shade tree, rest in peace, hit by lightning. What was that like when you guys walked out on the practice field and saw that?
Oh my God! That tree's been there for a long time. I mean, I used to get underneath that tree back in 80, 87, 88,
Wow.
89. So it's been around, and I used to always kid the guys because they'd always go huddle up around us. I'm going to cut this tree down. No, Coach, don't do that. And I would have never cut that tree down. But when I walked out there to see it was laying over on the side, it was very disappointing.
Yeah, how's that going to impact you recruiting people to come play? Because that's the only shade tree
Well,
forever.
we haven't. Well, the other day we went out, I guess on Wednesday, and we had a practice around it. So yeah, I mean, it definitely. I guarantee you, there's going to be some guys that, man, it's a little hot out here now.
Yeah,
Without this shade tree, we got to come up with a plan. That's for sure.
you just take some of those pieces from that tree and put that on your offensive line right there.
I tell you what, I mean, they've already come out and cleared it all. I mean, it looks clean out there. I can tell you what I will be able to do. I will be able to throw the fade route to my right side from this point on. I've thrown it a few times up in the tree, and I'm like, why are we sending them over there to the tree? But anyway, it's yeah, we're gonna miss that old tree.
So you'll be able to be ambidextrous
Yeah,
on the field now.
Now we'll be able to
Okay.
put a wide out, to both sides.
All right, let's move forward this year. Some football getting ready to wrap up after tonight, and then you're going to have myriad kids just going all different directions. What sports are up next for the Panthers?
Well, definitely. We got basketball that's already started. They've already been able to start practice. So we got a majority of our boys' basketball team will be made up from kids that are football guys. So they'll get cranked up first thing Monday morning, I'm sure, and they'll hit it running. Girls' basketball has already started. Coach Sylvia's been able to have somewhat of a practice without any of the varsity girls that played volleyball. So he'll be able to get going, and then again we'll start powerlifting practice probably when we get back from Thanksgiving. That season will crank up when we get back after Christmas. So we need to. It's never too early to get strong. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and I think boys and girls soccer will kick off too a couple of weeks prior to Christmas, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
And then they'll be hitting them games full throttle right after the first of the year. So it all comes at you really fast, and we got a lot of kids going a bunch of different directions. But what's really good is we got kids that compete. You know that you got 50-something kids in your program, and Coach Farrington, he's up to. Last year we were able to have a JV girls team for the first time since we've had girls soccer. So, and that's great because it gives 50 to 80 kids that maybe not have participated in something. Soccer has been able to be an avenue to get kids to get out and participate. And I've always felt like just being a part of a sport. Just teaches you so much more than just the sport itself. So you got to learn how to work with guys and guys and gals. You got to be able to work together for a common goal, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
All right, Coach, the last thing, if you could give a final message to Panther Nation, to the family, the people that are watching, what is the message they can take away from this season moving forward?
Well, I mean, I definitely, I would apologize for not getting it done and not getting these guys in the playoffs. But I will say that as their coach, I can say that there wasn't not one day that we didn't go out and practice as hard as we possibly could to get those young men ready for battle on Friday night. And not at any time during a game did I ever feel like any of those kids ever quit. I felt like we played as hard as we possibly could up to the final buzzer went off, and at the end of the day, we just came up short.
All right, Coach, thanks for being with us today. As always, it's been a pleasure. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood here with head coach and Athletic Director for Liberty, Chad Taylor. This has been the Halftime Show. We'll see you in a few minutes.
A group of high school kids came together to help a family in need. Liberty County Deputy Willie Davey was working an extra job and fell in the parking lot, suffering a head injury. The injury prevents him from working during his recovery, and his workman's comp doesn't cover injuries that happen on second jobs. This is where Liberty High School's law enforcement classes stepped up.
Coach Higg was the one who told us about what had happened, and he immediately knew that he wanted us to work hand in hand with his family and the community in order to put everything we could in to help.
Senior Elisa Freejay knew it would be a lot of work.
We were selling to the kids for about a week and had everyone bring Dr. Pepper's, Cokes, everything that we could, and we all pretty much had a helping hand in it.
The students were surprised by the generosity of the community.
We've seen so many people, some of them who didn't even want to buy anything, they just wanted to donate.
When Deputy Davies' wife Nancy arrived, she was impressed.
To know these kids especially, we're pulling together and doing something to help somebody else in the community because they have no idea how much this will help our family.
Freejay learned a lot during this project.
It showed me a lot. It showed me how to, I'm going to say it again, give it back to the community, really help out, and just be a better person.
Senior Cody Collier also picked something up from the day.
Coming out here and being able to put everything up and just being able to see how much of an impact we can make for our community.
Liberty County Sheriff's Captain Ken DeFore says what these kids did is a big boost to law enforcement morale.
This clearly shows you what has happened here today, that not only the youth of our community, but the public in general still supports law enforcement.
Coach Terry Higginbotham's law enforcement classes came together to raise over $5,500 for a family in need, learning that sometimes a simple plan can have a big impact. Ross Norwood, Panthers Sports Network.
Welcome back, Panther Nation. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing, and stat guru Neil Thornton. We are here at halftime in Hampshire, Texas for the finale of 11 4A action between your Liberty Panthers and the Hamshire-Fanette Longhorns. In the middle of halftime, about 11:40 to go, Panthers trailing 21-7, but showing some signs of life that our Panther Nation and fans have come to expect over the last couple of years. But I now segue to maybe the saddest part of our broadcast tonight.
Maybe for you.
Our yeah, maybe for me. Our stat man, Neil Thornton, who's been with me for the last, what is it now?
Wherever you've been.
4 years, 5? That's not been 5, maybe 4 years.
How long ever you've been doing it? Yeah.
You've been the stat man, and you've done this. You started with KSHN doing stats for Mr. Buchanan, and then you transitioned over here when they closed the doors and we became Liberty Panther Sports Network. And it was with sadness in my heart and hopefully my voice that I turned it over to you for your little farewell address, Neil.
2009 or 2010, one or the other. Anyway, look, and I'm going to read this because if I had to do this off the cuff, I'd probably choke up. Just because I do football on the radio, don't think I'm a big football fan. I'm not. I'm what you'd call a selective football fan. I don't even like pro football, don't even watch the Super Bowl. And I'm pretty selective about my college teams. I know that these 3 guys in the booth with me up here probably glue themselves to the tube on Saturdays and Sundays and Monday nights, but I don't, and I'll tell you why. My favorite brand of football is high school ball. I know the quality's not as good. They're not as big or strong or fast, and I know that. But they're not playing for themselves like the pros are. The pros are trying to establish statistics and numbers that'll earn them a bigger contract with the team, either their present team or another one altogether. Same way in big-time college programs. But most of these kids will never play another down after high school. High school kids are playing for the guy lined up next to them. They're playing hard and doing things beyond their capabilities because their coach believes in them. They follow his direction because he's a good leader. And they help the underclassmen on the team to get better because they want the team to be successful. The seniors become leaders because they were first well led. Look, tonight's seniors will walk away from the game tonight forever. But they will live in a community, have a job, and raise a family, and be part of that community. And communities require leaders. High school football, high school athletics, and extracurricular programs develop community leaders. I ask all of you watching and listening to continue to support high school sports and all student-led activities because they teach lessons outside the classroom that develop responsible citizens and good leaders. Go to the games, watch the broadcast, support the fundraisers. By doing this, you promote the future of our community. As Joe said, this is my last broadcast of Liberty High School football. I want to thank Bill Buchanan first for giving me an opportunity about 12 years ago. And I want to thank these guys up here with Liberty Panthers or with Panthersports.com, Joe, Ross, Richie, for putting up with me, but most of all for giving another group of kids, and that's the video class, an opportunity to do something for their school and community. You never see those kids because they're not on the field. But lastly, I want to thank you for listening and putting up with this old hillbilly on Friday nights. See y'all later.
Well, I appreciate that, Neil, and it really is going to be kind of a dark day for us next year. I'm going to miss those long car rides that we had, going to Madisonville and wherever the heck else that Coach Taylor had us going.
Yeah, those 3 games before district, 4 games before district starts. Sometimes we get some mileage in, don't we?
We do. One of the things that I've cherished the most over the last several years of being with you, Neil, has been those car rides and listening to the stories and listening to all the quips and the things you remind. And I know when I say this, you're going to think I'm calling you old, and I'm really not calling you old. I mess with you a lot about that, but you remind me a lot of some of my great uncles that were in my life that always had great stories. And sometimes they told the same stories 4 or 5 times. But
as you get older, that happens more and more often.
But you know what? I love to hear the story every single time. And so from the bottom of my heart, I'm going to miss that, Neil. And whatever you do, hopefully you get to spend some time with your grandkids and you get to go and fish or whatever you're going to do and have a great, glorious time. And more importantly, I hope you tune in and, you text us and tell us when we're saying something stupid.
Well, one thing I won't be doing is sitting up on, and a lot of these guys know, and people out there listening probably don't know. I sit up on Friday night when we get in, and I do my report in my article, and I send these stats to the coaching staff. That's how this all got started. I sent the stats to the coaching staff so that they can have them in the morning at 8 o'clock when they have the coaches meeting. Mm-hmm. So as soon as I'd get in, I'd do the stats and I'd do a little report, and I was writing Bill Buchanan a script or semi-script that he could read on the air, and that turned into an article with the Vindicator. But I do that at night when I get in. Sometimes these long ball games from way off, like you're talking about, when we have to go to Silsbee or Madisonville or Diboll, sometimes I got to get through till 2:30 or 3 in the morning. And, of course, I'm not teaching and coaching anymore, so I don't have to worry about doing like you're doing in the morning, getting up and going to a cross-country meet. But I used to do that pretty regularly. But it's time to shut that down and go to bed at a decent hour on Friday night.
I think the first time I ever met you was at a cross-country meet over in Bridge City. You brought a group of kids from All Saints, and you came up and you saw that I had that LP on, and you're like, "Hey, man, where's your team at?" And I was the principal, and it was really a fun experience.
Yeah, I had my oldest and my youngest son both ran cross-country. My middle son ran in junior high, and then he started playing football and played football for the Panthers. But my oldest and youngest both ran cross-country their entire 4 years in high school and led it all 4 years. My oldest one was district champion his senior year. So we've been involved in cross-country and distance running programs since he was in the 8th grade, starting 8th grade. So that's been a long, long time ago. He's a 99 graduate of Liberty High School, so that'll tell you how long ago that was.
All right, Neil. And for the rest of the fans watching, you are watching the Liberty Panther Sports Network on Panthersports.com. That's sports with a Z. And our producer, Richard Ewing, just informed me that he has turned over producing duties to our junior producer, Oscar Sakata. So they're switching spots for the second half.
So we can blame the second half on Oscar.
That's right. We can blame the second half on Oscar. You know what? He has done a fantastic – you talked about the kids behind the camera that don't get any recognition. He's such a – man, he is Johnny on the spot. He took Mr. Ewing took him under his wing to teach him all these things, and he has just really done a phenomenal job with that. So thank you, Oscar, for all that you're doing. And now some goings-on around the community as we're getting ready to come out of the half in about 4.5 minutes. Again, we talked about this. Junior Patrick Flowers is going to be running at the state cross-country meet tomorrow at 10:30 in Round Rock. We've got some other things going on with the community and school. The Valley players are going to be doing a Christmas showcase on December 4th and 5th at 7 p.m. and 2 p.m., and they're going to have auditions for that, and the auditions are going to be for high school age kids and up, and the auditions are going to be on Sunday, this coming Sunday, November 7th at 4 p.m., and on Monday, November 8th at 6 p.m., and the auditions are going to be at the Humphreys-Burson Theater, and of course that's attached to the city library. As soon as you walk in there, you will know exactly where to go. And Betty Runkle is going to be directing the Christmas showcase, so that ought to be pretty exciting. And then we have the Prancers Dance Camp. It's going to be on December 4th from 9 to 1. And if you have a little one that's interested in going to that, they need to have a white T-shirt and $30. And you can contact a Prancer for more information on that. And then moving forward in December, have a series of concerts and other cool stuff from the Liberty High School Fine Arts Department. On December 9th, the band is going to be doing their annual Christmas concert, and that's going to be 7 p.m. at the Liberty High School Gymnasium. And then on December 11th, the Fine Arts Department for Liberty High School is doing a combined Christmas show, and we're going to be doing a Christmas Carol this year. That's going to be Saturday, December 11th, and we're going to be doing 2 shows on that day. We're going to be doing a Saturday afternoon matinee at 1 p.m. and then a Saturday evening performance at 7 p.m. And Tanis Grimes, senior theater, will be playing the role of Ebenezer Scrooge, and he has done such a fine job. And you might know the name Tanis. He's normally with us on Friday nights running a camera. He had a family event this weekend, and so that prevented him from being here for the season finale. On Sunday, December 12th, the Prancers are going to be doing their, I'm not sure if they've done it before, I think it's their first annual winter show, and that's going to be at 4 p.m. at the auditorium. And again, the Fine Arts, the Christmas Carol is going to be at the auditorium, and the Prancers show is going to be at the auditorium. And I think I've said "and then" about 20 times. The Fine Arts Department will wrap up their Christmas showcase season with the choir under the direction of Christy Bean on December 14th at, I think that's going to be at 7 p.m., again at the auditorium. So quite a number of fine arts and arts events going on over the course of the next couple of weeks. Really excited about that. You were watching.
Is Christmas Carol going to be at the school auditorium?
At the school auditorium.
Behind LES.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Very good.
SJE.
Yeah, SJE,
yeah.
Right.
And it's going to be, the show's about an hour long, and that's going to be a nice program. The choir, the band, and the theater department all combining for that. It'll be $5 at the door for tickets, and that's going to be a nice little fundraiser for our fine arts department. And so we're always looking for donations and other things to help out the arts. And we have a really strong arts program in the city of Liberty, both at the city level with the Valley Players and at the school level with the various arts departments that are
One other
around.
event that's not a school event that we need to, it's a national event, we need to make sure we recognize this next Thursday is Veterans Day. And that's the day we honor anybody that's been in uniform, not necessarily like Memorial Day for those that have given their lives for the country, but those that have dedicated at least some part of their lives to service to this country. And one of those guys sitting right up here behind me is the United States Marine Corps Joe Roberts.
That's right, hoorah, once a Marine, always a Marine. And I'm glad you mentioned that because the high school is going to be doing a Veterans Day program on November 11th. And if you are a veteran, there's going to be a veterans breakfast at 7:30 a.m. at the high school with a program to follow. And I think the program's going to be at about 8:30 or so. And as I'm saying that, the Liberty Panthers taking the field, and that's going to be the conclusion of halftime. You're watching the Liberty Panthers Sports Network. I'm Joe Roberts alongside Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing, who's actually cameraman Richard Ewing now. So I should say producer Oscar Cicada, and Neil Thornton, stat man, in his career finale.
All together again for the last time.
That's 100% correct. We're in Hampshire, Texas for the 11-4A finale between your Liberty Panthers and the Hamshire-Fanette Longhorns. And the Panthers will be kicking off to the Longhorns to start the second half. Trailing 21-7 are the Panthers, but they have shown signs of life and have looked really good. And really, despite being down 2 scores, they've really played well.
They've had some as usual. They've had some moments of greatness. If we get to break the stats are pretty close. 109 yards offensively for Liberty, 113 for Hamshire-Fanette. They're ahead by 2 scores, but they're only ahead by 4 yards offensively. The passing game, Liberty's 2 for 3. The young man Heckman for Hamshire-Fanette is 3 for 7, but one of them was a long touchdown pass. Just a few breaks our way, maybe a turnover or something, and Liberty's right back in this ball game.
Yeah, after starting inauspiciously with the turnover, they've really done a phenomenal job both offensively and defensively. We talked about this earlier. The Panthers have been susceptible to the long ball all season long. Tonight, no exception. Heckman threw a super long touchdown pass after the turnover. I think would you say that was a 49-yard pass?
I believe it was.
41? 40-something.
I can look 43.
43-yard touchdown pass, and it was a pretty pass, and I don't know that the Panthers really could have played any better coverage than they did. The pass dropped into the receiver, and had he not caught that, there was going to be no room for error.
Right, that's one of those passes. That's like a pro pass. Oh, what!
And there, Montez with a nice kickoff, and that's going to go and hit at the 1-yard line and roll out of the back of the end zone. And that's the best kickoff that we've had so far.
That's the best kick coverage you can get.
You just kick it out of the back of the end zone.
Absolutely.
And with that, the Longhorns will start their possession at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10, as they are going to be moving from left to right.
Into what wind that there is.
Yeah, into whatever wind that there may be.
That does give Liberty the win in the 4th quarter and may help, if it gets down close, helps your kicking game if you got the win in the 4th quarter.
There we go, man on a mission. Ross Norwood returning to us after his journey to wherever he went. And that is definitely not what the Panthers wanted. Long run and still on his feet. And first play from scrimmage is going to be a long touchdown run.
Yarder.
Number 1, Tyler Spencer, 75 yards.
And that is the second ball that was run back on a kickoff.
Well, that was the first play from scrimmage. That wasn't a kickoff.
Oh, it wasn't a kickoff.
No.
Okay, well, if I watched the game, I would have a better idea about that.
Well, that was just a really long run, and the
short
Longhorns
drive,
score right out of the gate in the 3rd quarter at the 11:48 mark. And the extra point is going to be good. 11:48 in the 3rd quarter, and the Longhorns with a 3-score lead, 28-7. Ross?
Well, looking at it with the half glass full, the glass half full.
A half glass.
It's cold. It's cold. I've gotten cold. The temperature's gone down. The defense didn't have to spend too much time on the field, so they will, be primed and ready to go on the next drive.
Yeah, that's primed and ready to go. See, now here's the difference between producer Richard Ewing and junior producer Oscar Cicada. Producer Richard Ewing always gives me a digital scoreboard, and junior producer Oscar Cicada is not giving me a digital scoreboard. I'm calling him out. I'm calling him out hard right now.
I look back there. There it is. I looked back a minute ago, and I was like, man, Oscar's age.
Yeah, that first half really did him in.
Because, all of a sudden, Richie's on camera. And I'm sure y'all explain that, and that's why I've got to be better about.
There we go. At the 11:48 mark, again, the Longhorns taking the play from scrimmage, 75 yards for the touchdown. That was number 1, Tyler Spencer. Not much to do there, Neil.
No, 75, one play, 75 yards. Tyler Spencer takes it to the house down the left-hand sideline.
And back deep for the Panthers. Looks like Jolyn Curtis and Valtiera, perhaps.
You are correct.
All right. Let's see what the Panthers can do offensively here. And they're going to try for the short, and they may have gotten that ball.
It bounced right back into the hands of 16? Landon Curry.
I'm going to be honest with you. I normally am on the other side of the fence with trickery and other things like that. And that one right there, I don't know that I was a super huge fan of that play with this lead right now.
Well, and here's where I will give a little bit of leeway. They're have tried one onside kick tonight, and that onside kick went out of bounds, and they may be trying to kind of tune this up a little bit. And
for necessity down the road here. Yeah.
But I would say as a free coaching tip here, they may want to try to get in a position where they can avoid that because they're not
real good at it.
They're not real good at it.
1st and 10 for the Panthers. And this time, Curtis going to take the ball, cuts back to his left, still on his feet. Green grass, and he's off to the races.
And
30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and finally getting pushed out of bounds very near the goal line. They're going to get him at the 5-yard line, and that was a really nice carry by the senior Jolin Curtis.
He was going up the middle, and that closed up pretty good, and he was able to shift back out to the near side and really turned the burners on. Neil,
Did you see that?
I did.
He does it. He is so good at that. I'm so proud of that kid. Change hands with that ball and get it on the outside just as natural. You just can't coach that. That's just nature. That kid has got football instincts a mile wide.
That's going to be 1st and goal for the Panthers from the 5-yard line at the 11:28 mark here in the third quarter. Both teams blowing up quickly.
Oh. I'm completely lost here, Joe. I thought they had scored there for some reason. My brain's freezing.
Well, they're going to give it to him and see if he can finish it off. And still on his feet, they're going to push him back. Going to lose about 2 yards on the carry. 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. And I think the Longhorns had sniffed that one out. 11-14 and counting here in the third quarter. The Panthers trailing 28-7 and trying to ring the bell and answer that first score from the half. All right, Ross, you can take it away now. I've stopped talking. I'm here for you.
You're up, man.
I was gonna give a dog report, a second half dog report. Currently, there is no dog.
Okay. Is that what the cold has done to you? There's no dog.
That's the handoff to Titus Bell, who runs off to the right side. Doesn't get much, but he is going to get back to.
I think it's the original line
of scrimmage.
So it's going to be 3rd down and goal, short to go for the Panthers, looking to punch this one in. And I would guess even if they don't pick it up here, they're still going to go for it. They would not send the field goal unit on here at this point.
Not at trailing 28-7. If they were on the other end of the field, then yes, they would not send the field goal guys, but the punt guys. So they break the huddle. They've got the play. Titus Bell going to come up behind Caden Nolan. Nolan under center. Drops back, looks to the end zone to throw, has nothing. He rolls off. He is across the goal line for a touchdown. Yes, Liberty Panthers.
We'll go liking that. 9:54 in the third quarter, and the Liberty Panthers finding pay dirt behind the rollout from Caden Nolan, the senior, and chef's kiss on that one. Like to see that, Ross.
Well, good decision by Nolan as he had nothing open in the end zone and then was already on the roll and was able to pull it down and run it.
Brian Montez, the sophomore, and that's going to be through the uprights. Again, at the 9:54 mark, Liberty Panthers answering the second half score almost right away. Neil?
5 plays, 57 yards. Nolan scored on a 5-yard run after that setup at 52-yard. Great run by Jolin Curtis. PAT's good. Scores 14-7 with lots of time left.
I don't know, I'm mesmerized right now. Mr. Ewing he's such a great cameraman as well. He's a jack of all trades, technology-wise.
Renaissance man.
I'm blinded by my bald spot.
Don't worry, a lot of us are blinded by your bald spot. We love it, though.
He's getting all the bald spots, I think.
I think between you and Neil, you could have a lightsaber battle between your bald spots there. But the beauty of that is that I have a full head of hair.
Yeah, says the person wearing a cap.
That's right.
The beauty part of it is we don't have to wash our hair.
That is so true. That is so true. But you save money on wax.
Liberty getting ready to kick this ball off.
Let's see if we pull a
deep man
fancy
for
here.
Hampshire is Jordan Joyner. Short kick to Joyner, fields it at the 20 on the near side. Cuts across the field. He's up the middle of the field. He's got room. He is across the 30, the 35, 40. He's still on his feet. He is now across the 50, down to the, 25-yard line.
So from 25 to 25, 50-yard return.
And if you're watching at home, I apologize for that call. That was not a very clear call, but
if they're watching at home, they understand why.
Well, I'll tell you what.
It was a bald spot.
One of the things that I'm thinking the Panthers really need to focus on is that special teams play. It has been a thorn in their side all year long, and even going back to last year.
Yeah, they go down in one wave.
Heckman
Number one.
hands this ball off to Tyler Spencer, who goes forward about 5 yards, maybe 6. Or is that, Neil? Can you?
I think it's about 6.
So, apologize if you're watching our digital scoreboard. It's glitching on me right now. It's
is the
about
down box
9
on the
minutes to go.
19? Is that on the about the 19? I think
It's a keeper for Heckman, and he is still on his feet before being hit out of bounds or taken out of bounds on a big hit from Landon Curry. It is enough for a first down. 9:07, 28-14. Talk about the special teams, Joe. How does that affect you? You come in, score a touchdown, and then give up a run like that.
Man, it's really almost a backbreaker when you think about it. You've done something so amazing, and then that happens. It takes the wind out of your sails.
Spencer gets this ball. He gets wrapped up. Colby Ewing coming in to help assist on the takedown.
In about 8:42 and counting here in the third quarter. Panthers trailing by 2 scores, 28-14. Longhorns threatening on their latest drive.
Ball will be spotted on the Liberty 10-yard line.
This is where junior producer Oscar Sakata gets to earn his money. Actually, he's doing a really great job for us. He and Connor Roberts, the other camera guy.
Empty backfield for Heckman. He keeps this ball, and he is going to be down before the end zone.
It's Colby Ewing coming through there and stopping him. And Ewing has been just a revelation all season long for the Panthers. Had a toil on the JV last year because of his move-in status. And, man, he has just really made a name for himself defensively this season.
The great thing is he's a junior.
Oh, that
so
is
he'll be back
a
next
wonderful
year.
thing. He's really the quarterback over there on the defense.
Heckman again in an empty backfield. Gets this snap. He goes straight forward and is going to get taken down.
Get Titus Bell, didn't he?
I believe so.
That's number 45, Chase Van Shiver, on the stop there. And that was just really nice play from the defense. They're making the Longhorns earn every yard they're getting. 7:16 to go here in the third quarter. Liberty trailing 28-14. And the Panthers trying to bull their necks and prevent this score. They gave up a first-place score in the second half, and now they're trying to prevent a second score. Heckman in the shotgun formation, and they're playing it tighter to the vest this time. Rolling to his left in a designed quarterback run, and slips through a crowd. Going to be really close. I don't know if he picked up the touchdown or if he just picked up the first down. We'll see here momentarily.
They're going to give him the touchdown.
Oh, they are going to give him credit for getting across the goal line. So at the 6:49 mark, the Longhorns scoring again. Score going to be 34-14, and awaiting the extra point from the Longhorns. And it is so hard to overcome such a large mobile and active quarterback like the Longhorns have in number 3, Keegan Heckman. Thank goodness he's a senior.
Yes. High snap. Kick is up, and it is going to be through the uprights.
Nope. They're going to say it missed. It missed, and that is a rare miss from the Longhorns. So at the 6:49 mark, 34-14, Longhorns leading the Panthers by 20 points, and perhaps they opened the door. Who knows?
You never know, and this Liberty offense needs to come out and get a pretty quick score, and then I don't know, do you kick the ball out of bounds?
I don't know, but I do know one thing, Ross. I want to thank our sponsors for tonight, Liberty ISD Education Foundation. Been operating for Liberty ISD since 2007, doing a lot of great things. And if you want to help them out, how can you do that, Ross?
LibertyEducationFoundation.net. Hit the donate button. Any amount is wonderful, and all that money will go to help students in the Liberty Independent School District.
Emily Cook, attorney at law, for our scoreboard sponsorship, and Mr. Brandon Smith, who's he's a physician's assistant.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. I keep wanting to call him a doctor. I mean, he operates exactly like a doctor would.
He owns the business and operates under the license of Dr. Luna.
Okay. Well, he does a phenomenal job for everyone in the city of Liberty and the surrounding area, and he's another one of our scoreboard sponsors. I want to thank him for that.
Is he still a school board member?
That is such a great question, but I do not think he is. Actually, no, he's not.
He was for a while, I know.
Yeah, you would think I would know working for the school district, but
deep man is Curtis and Valtierra. This ball going towards the sideline, and it is out.
Well,
no, it is picked up by Valtierra, and he has got some running room before almost having his head taken off.
He just went down before getting decleated there, and had that been a collision, he might have been tossed out of the game for helmet to helmet.
Yeah,
I don't know that it was intentional, but it was definitely hat to hat. That's for sure.
Valtierra getting really lucky there that he was falling down, because that could have been ugly, and those are the kind of hits that look good on film, but in reality, those are not what you want to see, especially with these young people.
Ball out to the 29-yard line, though. It's not bad field position.
And it's also not something you want to see as a coach from a team that's going to be playing next week, and you have to lose one of your good guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And no doubt, 11-4A, West Orange Stark, Orangefield, Silsbee, and Hamshire-Fanette qualifying for the playoffs.
This ball handed off to Valtierra.
No, that's Colton Bishop.
Colton Bishop, as he comes inside, and he is going to get down or up to the 35-yard line on the first down play.
Yeah, Ross, you better say that correctly, or Mr. Bill Buchanan will be texting us and telling us that we said it incorrectly.
Well, that's why I corrected myself.
And if you're listening, Bill, thank you for that. You've scared us nicely.
Nicely?
Nicely.
All right, we'll go with nicely. Nolan back under center. Bishop in the backfield. Ball is handed off to Valtierra. Valtierra cuts back inside, and he's not going to have anywhere to go. Actually, he is. I'm really struggling tonight, Joe, because that looked like he had.
We're about to have to send Mr. Ewing back to the producer's booth with his camera work.
It wasn't. It's not the camera work. I have my binoculars, and
he's trying to remotely fix our scoreboard from his phone, and I'm just giving him a hard time. With 1st and 10 for the Liberty Panthers.
They break the huddle. Bishop is going to be the lone back in the backfield behind Nolan.
I think
pitch back to Austin Walker, who tries to work inside, and he is maybe going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
I think they're trying to give Titus Bell a little time off. You know, he plays both sides of the ball, and he plays hard.
5:25 to go here in the third quarter. Liberty Panthers trailing 34-14. You're watching the Liberty Panthers Sports Network on Panthersports.com. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood. Our last game with Neil Thornton, producer/cameraman Richard Ewing, junior producer Oscar Sakata, and other cameraman Connor Roberts.
Be 2nd down and 10 for the Panthers. Ball on the far hash mark. Nolan drops back, throws down to the far side of the field, goes up for it, is Fun. No, comes down with it.
No, that
was Mason Goodo.
Mason Goodo.
Well, that was a really nice catch.
Brings it down to the 30.
Cade Nolan threw a 50-50 ball there, and
a first down, 32 yards.
Goodo was able to come up with that.
Big first down for the Panthers. They trail 34-14 with 4:35 left in the third quarter and counting. Play clock is getting down to 15.
Well, they started that play clock awfully fast.
They've done that a couple of times. If you look at what happened towards the end of the first half, when we thought maybe there'd be a delay, a game against Hampshire, they'd started it too early. Not a problem as Caden Nolan hands off to Jolin Curtis, and Curtis is going to get swallowed up in the sand pit.
Tried his little juke there that he gained so many yards on a while ago, but they sniffed that one out. I think he lost about one there.
Well, and once his feet started moving, that sand started kicking up.
Well, this field is like a map of the United States. There's rocky portions, there's sandy portions, there's marshy portions. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, they're going through the beach right now on their way.
Or the Great Sand Dune National Park.
Yes,
or the other.
On their way
to pay dirt.
To pay dirt, or I was just going to say to water. Handed off to inside to Val Tierra, who's going to kick back out towards the outside as he tries on his feet and is going to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Val Tierra, the sophomore, come on strong this season.
They're actually going to give him.
He's going to be a nice little addition for the Panther backfield
moving forward.
Let's
see.
They did.
He's a tough little runner, too.
3rd down and 10. Titus Bell back in at fullback. Curtis goes in motion. Nolan drops back, throws over to the far side. He has a receiver who is going to go forward and be knocked out of bounds as the clock will keep moving. It's going to be for a gain of, I don't know, maybe 5.
Maybe 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
That was number 11, Cade Jordan, on the reception.
Tight end, sophomore Jordan. Brings up now a 4th down. And we'll say a short 6.
Short 6.
That's
very
being optimistic.
You're so optimistic.
Nolan is 4 for 5 passing, y'all, with 96 yards.
Yeah, he's had a good night passing. Out of the shotgun formation, 2 backs. Max protect his side. This is Austin Walker. Walker throws up a rainbow, and it is deflected in the end zone.
Yeah, I think he overthrew his receiver there, and that was luckily pushed out of there because that very easily could have been a turnover interception there. Or you call that a punt interception.
Turnover on downs. Hamshire-Fanette will get another opportunity. This time they'll be starting from their own 26-yard line, scoring on their last possession.
Well, they've scored on both of their possessions.
Both their possessions. They had the one-play possession to start the second half.
And it was so confusing you thought it was on the kickoff. That's how fast it happened.
2 wide receivers on the near, 2 on the far. 1 back in the backfield. It is going to be handed off to Spencer. Spencer comes up the middle, dances around a little bit, and he is going to get about 8 yards.
The Panther linebackers, particularly Caleb Chandler, they have been in the backfield a number of times. But those Longhorn running backs have been just so elusive and shifty that they've gotten outside of those tackles and turned what looked like a loss into big gains.
Definitely a few of those that come to mind.
Who was that carried that ball in?
That was Tyler Spencer.
Number 1? Okay.
Yes. Ball's going to be given it to Spencer again. This time he goes off tries to get off the left tackle. And cannot, as the Panthers snuff that one out, and it will.
Is it no gain? No gain?
No gain. The down box staying in the same place. My mouth is freezing up here.
Yeah, somebody needs to build a fire.
I'll tell you what.
There was one in the parking lot.
Yeah, there was one, yeah.
They just need to move it over here.
Man in the backfield to the right. Well, they're going to clear the backfield, put 2 receivers.
There you go. That way to shift.
Movement on the line, but not called as they push back and
you better hurry.
Get the sign. And they're going to have to take a timeout. And this will be their first charge timeout of the second half with 39 seconds left in the third quarter. Hampshire leads Liberty 34-14. Final game of the season for Liberty. And final game for a number of these seniors, Joe.
Absolutely. They've had an up and down ride this year. Started off so great, dropped the first game to a really good Huffman-Hargrave team. Ooh. And then went on a nice streak of wins and started off 11-4A with a pounding of Hardin-Jefferson. And you almost thought, man, maybe this is going to be the year. And then 11-4A showcasing how great of a district and how tough of a district that it is. A series of losses reeled off. And, thinking about this defense, Ross, if they can find or develop a true cover corner or over-the-top cover safety, this defense is going to go from pretty good to really great.
Really good, that's right.
That is one
thing.
They
take away that passing. If they can take away that passing capability from these other teams, they'll be hard to score on next year.
As the second half progresses, we'll go through some of those seniors that are playing in their final game for Liberty. Coming out of the timeout, they have the play. Be third down. Ball handed off to Spencer again. Stays on his feet, and he is going to get very close to a first down. He needed the 35, and he is going to get it.
Yeah, they're going to give him that tough running by the Longhorn running back. Talking about the seniors, in particular, Cade Nolan and Austin Walker, the two-headed quarterback tandem that started last season for the Panthers and then ran into this season. They have been pretty darn good for the Panthers, both of them playing both ways. And it's going to be some big shoes to fill for whomever steps in for those two young men. Mason Goodo, another young man that played a good bit last year defensively, and then this year took a much larger role offensively on for the Panthers.
That's the quarter, and Coach Stewart, defensive coordinator, is out there, and I think he's breathing a little fire into the boys. He looked like he was a little bit animated.
After 3, your Liberty Panthers trailing by 20, 34-14, and the Hamshire-Fanette Longhorns picking up the first down coverage. And then moving down the roster, just a number of other good seniors. On that offensive line, the Liberty Panthers going to have to find a way to replace some pretty good ones. Center Seth Stearns, tackle Dylan Davis, just jumping out in my mind. It's kind of hard to replace that sort of size.
Yeah, you have Zach Partain, who will be rotating off Joe Randolph. And you also have Titus Bell. That's going to be a big one to replace. But you also do have Colby Ewing for next year.
Speaking of seniors, the cheer captain, Kennedy Mumphrey, just on the screen there.
She's going on to bigger and better things, isn't she?
Oh, she definitely is. She has plans to become a lawyer, I believe, and wants to go to UT. Of course, don't quote me on that at all.
I think she's going. I was in Coach Higgs' class the other day for him, and I believe she is going to University of Texas.
Okay.
6-yard pickup for Hampshire on that first down play as they look back behind them to the sideline to get the sign. They have it. 3 wide receivers on the near side. This ball going to be handed off to Spencer. Spencer swallowed up but keeps on his feet and keeps going. And he will get to about the 44-yard line. It's going to be short of a first down. He needs the 46.
Now it's moving down the list for some seniors. Linebacker William Waldrop, another great senior that really started out slow as far as playing time and getting his name called. And over the course of this season, I think we haven't gone too many stretches where we haven't called his name.
Oh, he's got his head in the ball game every play.
Third down play. This ball handed off inside to Spencer. Spencer goes head on with a Panther, and he will cross the 50 and pick up a first down. Actually, I say he crossed the 50. He ended on the other side of the 50, but he's going to be spotted at the 50.
And you got linebacker Quentin Johnston, who has just been, just so instrumental, part of that great front seven that the Panthers have. He's going to be missed.
Hampshire not in a hurry to get the ball off with a 34-14 lead. Play clock gets down to 8 seconds. Spencer
He
again
earned
gets
that.
this one.
There you
And,
go.
yeah, that was a little pinball for
He
Spencer.
earned that one.
He'll feel that one tomorrow.
There's no doubt about that. If you were just watching the screen, we had a close-up shot of another senior cheerleader, Tori Best. Got a few seniors on that cheerleading squad. And Coach Felicia Davis has done a phenomenal job with that crew. And it seems like they're always getting All-Americans and winning competitions and doing all kind of cool stuff.
Swing pass to the far side. It's going to be on the turf and incomplete.
Probably better that it was because he was sniffed out. He had the defenders. He had a tackler on him and two more breathing down his throat over there. Had he actually caught the – they're giving him the reception. They are giving him the reception.
Wow, I thought
but
it was
– it's a 2-yard loss.
I thought he had
It's
said
a 2-yard
incomplete,
loss.
but they're going to give it to him. He did a good job of picking that one off the grass.
I think that was that Austin Baker. Was that number 4 kid?
I believe so.
Yeah. So he's got 3 receptions for 14 yards, and one of them's for a loss.
But we like those kind of receptions.
Yes, we
Yeah, I'll
do.
take that one. Empty backfield. Snap. Scrambling, trying to get out of trouble. Gets rid of the ball as Colby Ewing, William Waldrop,
And that's
and Peyton Freejay.
That's just really a sign of how good that young man is back there. He scrambled and he held onto that ball as long as possible, trying to get something to develop, and then smartly threw it away before being sacked.
So that brings up 4th down.
Is this their first or second punt? I believe this is their first punt.
Well, you're the stat guru,
Well, I
Neil.
have to go back through all the –
You got to keep up with us,
It's
Neil.
their second punt.
We're just going to call you randomly next year and ask for stats.
Panthers do not send anybody back on this 4th down and punt. Good snap, pressure, but
Well,
the
he
punt
got
is
a
off, and
rocket
it's
off.
a boomer going
Let it
straight
roll.
down the middle of the field,
Oh.
and I don't think they're going to be able to down it. They do not down it before going into the end zone. A
that was
big
close.
break for Liberty as that ball will be taken out to the 25-yard line. If it had been killed on the 1-yard line, you're talking about a completely different situation, or as John Hacker used to call it, a situation.
That's not in the air, but total net on that. That's a 51-yard punt. Now, of course, it comes back out to the 25 nowadays, so they don't take that off the man's average. But that makes a pretty good average out of that.
I believe his first punt tonight was 40, 43, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
So Liberty gets to set up shop from the 25-yard line after the touchback on the punt. A good stop by Liberty's defense as they are trailing 34-14, 8:37 left in the game, 8:37 left in the season.
Well, that was very succinct, Ross.
Nolan spins around, hands this one off to Colton Bishop, and Colton Bishop is swallowed up, but he does pick up about a yard.
And one of the things I'd like to spotlight another young man, Jolin Curtis, the senior running back. He really has been such a workhorse this year. And over the last couple of games, he picked up a little bit of an injury that he's been having a hard time getting over. And you saw the burst of speed early in the second half where he was pushing through, and you see what he could be if he were at 100%. And it's been such a pleasure to watch him this year.
He is so fast. He is so quick. It's just a shame he's not a little bigger, but he's got 8 carries for 69 yards so far tonight.
Nolan hands this one off to Curtis again. Curtis gets around the edge, and he is upended at just below the knees.
Came down on his shoulder and his head. I hope his neck's okay. He came straight down.
He did get a nice pickup on that play, but a hard fall there for Jolin Curtis as he was cut at the knee, actually below the knees.
While we're waiting for them to check on that young man, we'll just run through repeat some of those goings-on that are happening around the area. Hopefully Jolin's able to get up here. The Liberty High School Fine Arts Department doing some shows and stuff coming up in December. And prior to that, next Thursday, and looks like Jolin's going to get up, and that's nice for that young man. Next Thursday, the Veterans Day program going to be occurring at Liberty High School, 7:30 a.m. for any veterans who want to show up for breakfast, with the program to follow at 8:30. And then a series of Christmas or holiday shows starting on December 9th with the band, and then the 11th with the Fine Arts Department, A Christmas Carol. December 12th, Prancers with their winter show, and then December 14th, Choir with their winter show.
Almost on cue with the band as the percussion section gets fired up. They're right down in front of us. And Liberty's going to pick up close. They're going to get a first down, it looks like. They are going to get a first down. Did not see who the ball carrier was, but seeing Nolan running out as he was, it does appear to be a keeper. So first down and 10 for Liberty. Clock under 7:20. Ball is at the 33-yard line of Liberty. They need about the 43-yard line. I am being told that y'all are getting the unfortunate opportunity to see my bald spot. Nice way of saying sit down. Austin Walker throws a pass down the far side of the field, and it is intercepted. And a turnover for Liberty.
25th letter of the alphabet, Ross. 25th letter of the alphabet. You know what that is. Go ahead and say it for me.
Why?
Exactly. Why would you throw that ball?
Yeah, that's just tunnel vision.
Oh, that's the frustrating part of watching the Panther offense is they show these flashes of brilliance and then they do some head scratchers.
Yeah, that did not go well for Liberty as they turned that one over. 6:46.
Is the ball on the right on the 40?
Looks to be on the 40-yard line.
But we did say at the beginning we were going to see some things they probably wouldn't normally do because, there's nothing to lose here, so why not? So maybe that's the answer to my 25th letter.
Spencer gets this ball, kicks out to the near side.
Had to be a hold here.
He's going to have a holding penalty there, but he did pick up enough for the first down, but he was aided by a hold.
Yeah, everybody in the stands was calling it. Number 4, he had him around the waist.
And that flag is at about the 47-yard line, so they'll walk it off from there.
Well, don't forget, if you are a wannabe star or you want to be a star, you're going to get your opportunity with the Valley Players. Auditions for their Christmas showcase coming up on Sunday and Monday. Sunday at 4 p.m., Monday at 6 p.m., and that will be at the Humphreys Burson Theater, same building as the Liberty Municipal Library.
I will say, for the record, they asked me not to show up.
I think I was on that committee that asked that. That's going to be directed by Betty Runkle, and those performances will be on December 4th and 5th at 7 p.m. and 2 p.m.
Heckman hands this one off to Spencer, who goes forward, crosses.
I don't know how he got out of there.
I don't either. As he is going to have a nice pickup there on the second down. It was 2nd and 13. Gets back to about the original line of scrimmage.
The Liberty High School Prancers are going to have a dance camp for the youngsters, and they're going to do that on December 4th from 9 to 1. Cost is going to be $30. Need that in a white T-shirt. Contact a Prancer for more information on that.
The new running back,
Denson gets
6.
this one. Jordan Denson. I believe that's his name. However, I did type this, so I may have transcribed it improperly.
Who knows? You are watching the Liberty Panthers Sports Network on PantherSports.com. That's sports with a Z because we didn't want to pay the $2,400. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing, stat man in his finale ever of taking stats, Neil Thornton.
Ball sits on the Hampshire 45-yard line. They need the 50 for a first down. Spencer gets this ball, comes to the near side, crosses the 50, still on his feet before he falls down at the 35-yard line. That is enough for a first down. Neil, you saw something there?
I saw him. This blocker had him by the shirt tail, but nobody else saw it but me, I guess.
Well, this may be the finale for the Liberty Panther football team, but it will not be the Panther Sports Network finale for the season. We're going to be doing some select home basketball games coming up here in November, December, and then moving into the spring, we'll be covering a couple of baseball games, but primarily covering the Lady Panthers softball team as they look to get back into action following their state championship last season.
A keeper from Heckman, and he has run into some pressure, but he just keeps those feet moving, and he'll have a nice pickup on first down as this ball gets down to about the Liberty, what is that, Neil?
27, 28.
28-yard line.
So that was about almost a 9-yard pickup, 8-yard pickup.
I tell you would think we'd be able to pick that up super easily, but from our angle, it's so awkward to see what the hash mark is.
It really is, and it seemed to be easier to see it.
And we have a Longhorn. Is it? No. Is that a Panther down?
It is an injured Panther.
And Mr. Michael Pope stepping on and does a great job as the trainer for the Liberty Panthers out of the Methodist Hospital organization.
Was that Chandler?
I am not sure. I cannot see the number on the jersey. I'm thinking it's not 10, but it could be.
Is it 14? Is that Becker?
That's Josh Payne.
Oh,
16.
Oh, 16. Sorry, Landon Curry.
Well, eventually we'll say the right name, I think.
Just keep on.
Just keep on
going down
on
the list.
numbering. Yeah. Junior producer Oscar Cicada pulling the marionette strings now. The man behind the curtain in Oz, doing a great job for us this evening. Done a great job for us all season long.
Been with us all season long.
He has been with us all season long.
I think one of the problems is the down box is not matching where the ball's spotted.
Yeah, that definitely has thrown things off. Spencer gets this, shifts his feet, comes to the outside, and he is still on his feet, gets a block, rolls over one Panther, but he can't get past Mason Goodo.
That was a nice tackle by Goodo. Very nice.
Form tackle.
That's is it gonna drop the chains? Or no, they're gonna be
first down and 10 from the Liberty 11-yard line.
Man, that's so close.
They need the 1-yard line for a first down. Of course, if they're at the 1, they can just go ahead and go in one more yard. 3:31 left on the clock, 34-14.
That put young Spencer over 100 yards, 15 carries for 109 yards.
This one's for you, Miss Ripkowski. Give the score one more time, Ross.
It's 34-14, Hampshire.
I will not be yelled at again.
Under 3:10 to play as the clock winds down, under 8 seconds on the play clock. New back in the backfield. This ball is going to be handed off to Jordan Denson. Denson's limited carries today, and he will go up to.
Nope. He's going to go down.
8.
Bill's going to give you a call. I'm telling you.
Oh, did I say up to?
You said up to. He's going to go down.
Yeah, well.
Well, he's not paying you anymore, so I guess it doesn't matter.
No, does it surprise you that I think my brain has frozen? It's not even that cold.
This is football weather.
Oh, our heads aren't covered.
Right.
Yeah, that's
we don't have
we don't have insulation like some people do.
I think that was a fat joke.
No, that was a hair joke.
Okay, fat hair? I don't know. Whatever it is, I'll take it.
Clock continues to roll under 2:18, 34-14, fourth quarter.
Coincidentally, we will not be doing a post-game show with Coach Taylor, not because we don't like him, but I have a super long trip to Austin tonight, and so I'm going to be packing up and leaving as quickly as possible.
I'm leaving a little faster.
You are leaving a little faster. Junior Patrick Flower is going to be running in the state cross-country meet tomorrow morning at 10:30. Super excited about that. He is the back-to-back 21-4A district champion. Placed 6th at the regional meet, qualified for the state meet for the second year in a row, and looking for some good stuff tomorrow.
I look for that young man maybe win the region next year. I sure hope he can.
I hope he can as well.
3rd down and 5. They need the 1 for the first down. Heckman hands this ball off. No, he keeps it, pulls it down, and he is going to be hard-pressed to get much. And he may end up losing some yardage. If that down box is correct, he will lose some yardage.
Senior Austin Walker stepping up and saying, no way, Jose.
He lost 2, I guess, at least 2.
Yeah, the down box has been more of a floating box.
A suggestion.
More of a suggestion.
Yeah. Suggestion box.
Yeah, exactly, like speed limit signs and stoplights.
Oh.
They're just suggestions.
Aren't you related to a former state trooper? I don't think you should say suggestions on that. I don't know. Can he retroactively give you a ticket?
Well, I mean, take my advice at your own peril.
Well, there's no disclaimer, Ross.
I just gave it.
That was after the fact.
Now he's not only is he a former state trooper, now he's the justice of the peace. So
Under 30
he can
seconds.
levy the fine.
Under 30 seconds, Hamshire-Fanette's going to take a timeout. They're going to stop it actually at 32 seconds. 34-14 left in this game. It's 4th down and 5 from the 5.
Again, you're watching the Liberty Panthers Sports Network on PantherSports.com. That's sports with a Z. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, producer Richard Ewing, Statman Neil Thornton. And you missed the most heartfelt, tear-inducing commentary that we've ever heard. That I didn't even know he had soft words inside of him. Well, and then he had this whole spiel written out trying to make people cry. I thought he was all barbed wire and napalm.
You're an easy touch.
So, Joe, 4th down and 5, actually 4th and 7, because the ball is not on the 5, and they need the 1 for a first down. What do you do? What was that timeout about other than?
I don't know.
I'm not sure what they're doing here, Ross. I would have probably let the clock just run out. I don't know why they're trying to score here. This should be victory formation.
This ball is going to be handed off to Alex Jamie, and Jamie is going to be brought down short of the end zone, but it's going to be see where they put it down, and it is going to be a turnover on downs with 25 seconds left in this ball game. Liberty will get the ball. Not great field position.
No, and I don't even know if Coach Taylor will run a play here. He may just go ahead and down it right here and just kill the clock. Of course, he is out there coaching them up in the huddle, so maybe they are going to run something. Yeah, what do I know?
This might be an opportunity with 25 seconds left in the season to just
air one out.
Air one out.
There you go.
They've had some success with Nolan tonight.
They really have. He's had a pretty nice game.
He's 4 for 6, 96 yards, but he has thrown an interception.
They're going to come out in the tight set here. Nolan is under center. He is going to hand this ball off. Trouble with the exchange. It goes to, looks like Mason Goodo. Is Goodo able to hold on to it?
And I don't know if they're going to have time to get another playoff unless they take a timeout.
Yeah, I think that's going to just about do it. Yep. And that will do it for the Panthers in 2021. They will fall to the Hamshire-Fanette Longhorns 34-14 to close out their season. And a tough loss for Liberty. They played well. I know the score may not necessarily reflect the intensity that they played with today, but because I thought they played a very good game.
They actually did play a pretty good game.
Where there were some less than optimal things that happened.
They have some things to hang their hat on moving forward, and they're going to hit, as Coach Taylor said multiple times, they're going to hit the offseason really hard, hit the weight room, and they're going to be ready to go next season, no doubt in my mind. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Ross, Neil, you've been watching the Liberty Panthers Sports Network on PantherSports.com. Been a pleasure to be working with you guys this season. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Neil Thornton, producer Richard Ewing. Oh, there we go. We got the camera right on us.
We turn back here.
There we go. Our super great camera guy here. Actual producer Richard Ewing.
When we took over, Joe, at the radio station, there was one guy that was there to help us, kind of break us in, and that was Neil. And Neil, you did a fantastic job, and we thank you for all your help.
So what you're doing, you're blaming me for all of it.
Of course I'm blaming you.
I would never blame you to your face anyway.
Of course I'm blaming you. No, seriously, thank you for being here every week and helping us in every way, whether
Glad to do it. Glad to do it. It's
keeping
been a
up
big
with
time.
the stats, or this year he's been an equipment hauler.
Well, that's really what we kept him around for.
Because I had a truck.
That's right. He has a truck.
He does
can
have a
move
truck,
stuff.
and he has moved stuff for us. But in all seriousness, Neil, thank you so much for all the years that you have done this, and really provided a great thing to these broadcasts.
Well, I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see this as being it's not a student led, but it's a student directed and a student involved program now, not just a commercial situation. And not to say that Bill's program was commercial in any stretch, but this is helping kids, and that's what I've been about for most of my life. So I'm glad to see that it's headed that way.
All right, Panther Nation, appreciate you staying with us all season long. Joe Roberts, Ross Norwood, Neil Thornton, producer Richard Ewing. We're not done for the season. You'll catch us later on this year with some basketball, and then in the spring we'll catch you with some baseball and Lady Panthers softball. It's been a great ride this season. Can't wait to see you next time. Liberty Panther Sports Network on panthersports.com. We'll see you in the future. I like it.